Nielsen Ratings is a show just for you. We talk film, TV, both old and new. We discover new things, our taste get broader. So here's the show's host in no particular order. Rachel's arrived, she's making a stand. It seems like world domination is her ultimate plan. And he's a little rough, he's a little caustic. Call him what you will as long as it's not toxic. Stupenzolicious gonna judge you on your sense of cool by asking you what your favorite Mexican food. Northern Bastard and Spider Elm would say hello. It seems like everybody wants to be on this YouTube show. Run by Lance who drinks cappuccino. Everybody thinks he looks like Quentin Tarantino. So come on in and join the Nielsen Ratings. It's a show that you've all been anticipating.
Hello, hello, hello. First of all, before we begin tonight's episode of Nielsen Ratings, my profound apologies. Due to personal circumstances beyond my control, was not able to do my industry interview on Sunday. Was not even able to let my guests know that I was not available to do my industry interview on Sunday, which was especially embarrassing. And I was not able to do my industry interview today, although I was able to let my guests know, albeit rather late. So both of those have been rescheduled. So the industry interview with Ross Hughes, writer of his book, he will be on tomorrow with me at 8 p.m. And King Nikki talking about her first debut horror film will be on at 10 p.m. UK time next Sunday. Again, my apologies to those guests and also to my subscribers. But as I said, personal circumstances, things just sometimes get out of your control. It was pretty close cut making it on time to do tonight because I was coming away from home, but I was able to just about make it. Fortunately, I have communication with a couple of my team. So, let's just look at the chat first. Keith, by the way, thanks, buddy. I saw all the messages. Both you and Rachel were kind of sort of putting in the chat on my behalf. Very embarrassing, but I appreciate you kind of holding fort and sort of telling people there's probably a good reason. There was a good reason because you have to remember I don't have any social media on my phone. And then on at least one of those occasions, I didn't even have my phone. So there we are. It's all good. I'm not sure what that's about. Something to do with name spelling. Gary Bolter's here from Outcast Australia. I think you should come on as a guest, Gary. I will send you the link via YouTube. You can offer your opinion on several of the films we're going to be talking about tonight for sure. So, mate, I'm going to drop that to you on Facebook now. Now, we're going to be talking about quite a huge range of topics tonight, not just the ones scrolling across your screen, but there's a couple that I'm going to add to that as well that we haven't talked about before. There's the drama series, I don't even know how to pronounce the title, that's about the sinking of the Polish ferry, which is very similar to the Estonia show that we covered last year. I think we were the only YouTube channel to cover that show, which is a real shame because it was so good. So we're going to be talking about that briefly. We're also going to be talking about The Wild Geese, which is an older film. It's got its 40th anniversary this weekend. I'm actually going to the cinema to see it on Sunday. Sandy's coming with me. She's flying in from America to come and see that film with me. Well, I do have 2 tickets, so that option is available to you if you want to come. Just kidding. All right, let's bring in my panelists. My stalwart co-host who's just got off a 36-hour stream. He's had about 37 minutes of sleep, but he's still here co-hosting tonight. Benzo's in the house.
Not true at all. I almost streamed last night, but I decided not to because I noticed YouTube was actually kind of buggy. It was like buffering a lot.
Dude, you were streaming until midday UK today.
You're thinking of Sunday.
I was watching it.
Sunday night, Monday morning. Yesterday was Monday.
Yeah, but my time, my Monday UK, you were still streaming.
Wow. Well, I slept plenty last night.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I think I'm gonna be re-uploading some old Wii watches that had to get taken down due to copyright over the years, so that's fun. I'm also trying to edit some of these newer Wii watches to be more, I don't know, spend more time editing them, basically. And yeah,
Can you
I don't know.
also redo the Nielsen ratings thing while we're on air?
I never made the
Possibly.
Nielsen ratings theme. I think that was Gary, right?
No, you've done the one with the Predator for tonight.
Oh, the thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail.
No, I did
So
not.
what I would really like is either the Predator and Richard Burton, or potentially even just Richard Burton, because I feel Richard Burton and the Wild Geese deserve the thumbnail more than Predator Badlands.
I feel like you've done a Wild Geese comprehensive video more than once. Am I wrong?
I have, but it's such a good film that I'm quite happy to do comprehensive Wild Geese videos at least 3 or 4 times a year.
I see.
You'd understand if you were brought up on the Wild Geese. So anyway, yeah, if you're able to do that, that'd be great. Fantastic. Let's bring in some of the other panel. We also have the man from Beyond the Wall, who fortunately I have on the end of the phone to say, please send the link out to people. I'm going to be really tight on time. It's Northern English for Starters here.
Hey, you beautiful bastards. How are you all doing? You got it, then. Your favourite one?
Absolutely. What is your favourite Bond film?
Oh, it's kind of hard to say. I like Goldfinger. I like GoldenEye.
I like GoldenEye a lot.
It's sad. It's sad. License to Kill as well.
I like License to Kill because it's like the fucking most insane, violent one.
Oh yeah,
that was heavily. You guys got to saw the uncensored version of that before we did, because we got the PG-12 version. You guys got the 15 version. You got to see Anthony Zerbe's head explode in the washing machine.
Yeah, I remember getting the video originally as a kid and not seeing the leg get bitten off. Then later on, I get it on DVD. Fucking Felix Leiter's leg gets lobbed off by a shark, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Damn.
Yeah, I know. You've never seen that before, had you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, for me, it's always going to be. Connery's probably my favorite Bond.
Same.
Yeah, I think overall he's the best Bond. He's kind of got the package, and the presence and whatever. But my favorite Bond film is still this one.
Call him over. Hey!
That's all I can show of that. Otherwise, I'm going to get a copyright.
Damn you, YouTube! I want to watch the whole scene, the whole epic.
I know, it's such a good scene.
MGM, dude, they've become dicks all of a sudden. I don't know. Like they used to allow a lot of movies on YouTube, and then they changed their mind, and now anything MGM is getting blocked, struck, removed because they're trying to, I guess, milk MGM Plus on YouTube and Amazon.
Well, we've got a full panel tonight, so let's be bringing the rest on. First of all, next up is King of the Spiders, Critic Al's here.
Hello, how you all doing?
Dude, I mean, could you look any more like kind of creepy and strange? The angle.
I could try.
Yeah, I mean, you've even got spiders behind you. It's all working.
There is. And
It's what he does.
He looks fine. Don't listen to him.
Sorry, was that some sort of like American interpretation of a chimney sweep, aka Mary Poppins era? What was going on there?
I don't know.
It was a bit Dick Van Dyke, wasn't it?
Came in my head.
Very Dick Van Dyke, Northern English. That Dick Van Dyke American and Dick Van Dyke British interpretations.
Yeah, it was done
for American guests only. How are you, Critic Al?
I am very well, thank you very much.
Mate, I can't wait to talk to you about Predator Badlands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but your beard is still there. It hasn't fallen out, so you must have some positive things to say. Next up.
Hey, everybody.
It's
Hey.
now. Are we going to call you Rebel Rose from now on? Do we have to adopt that? Is that a thing?
No, you can still call me by my name.
Because I feel like this
Everybody
is some sort of
knows.
like southern, you know. That's
a different kind of rebel.
going that
It was a
direction now?
Star Wars
Look
rebel.
away,
Thank you.
look away. I knew an old guy who sings that song every week at
Yeah.
karaoke. It's like, God, he doesn't care.
That's dedication.
I feel your avatar should be like a southern flag with a rose in it, incorporating both the British and American civil wars. Because the British War was the War of the Roses, and the American War was just the War of the Cunts. But that's the same thing. So you could if you put a rose in the middle of a southern flag, rebel rose. There you go. You're just covering that whole history.
What, like?
Yeah,
the
you're trying to get me kicked off
flag?
I don't know. Maybe an exploding cat in the middle of it. I'm not sure where I'm going with that. I expect to see that next week.
Sure.
Kitchen to talk to me about Marines. Lord Toxicity's here.
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
Happy Veterans Day, America.
I've got a lot
Thank
to
you.
say about that show. Can't wait to get on that. Tox, do you want to say anything else? Like, hi, introduce yourself, or do you want to just look like a movie?
I mean, it was the Marine Corps' birthday yesterday, and today is Veterans Day, so I feel like hoorah covered it. But I mean, if you need more loquaciousness from me, I could
just
certainly...
a brief introduction, a hello. You're not often on camera.
Hello, how is everyone doing today? I'm trying to find a cool avatar to use.
Okay. I quite like the whole sort of cat, dark glasses, special forces. Don't mess with me. Look, it's all working for me.
That is
Plus,
me.
we got like synchronicity with you on one side and Al on the other, both equally looking quite serial killer like. It's good. It's working.
I got a new webcam. I wanted to test it out. It's quite
Excellent.
nice.
Right. Well, you've committed to it now, so I'm going to have to keep you there.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Nielsen Ratings. 15 people watching. Fantastic. It's going to be very entertaining. So do stay with us. We've got lots to talk about tonight. Loads of different shows, both old and new. Mostly new. Some of which are great that we're going to recommend for you. Some of which are and then there's others that kind of fall in between. Now I could start off with Predator Badlands, but no, everyone else has been talking about that, so fuck that. We're going to save that for later. And hey, it might not even be that much time. I've just realised on my scrolling graphic, one of my titles of my shows that we're going to discuss is actually wrong. It's not Struck by Lightning. It's Death. It's Death by Lightning. So I'm going to have to go in and quickly edit that. But I do want to talk about Marines, which I have just seen. And I know we've got some vets here with us as well. So it's always interesting to hear their take on it. But I'm going to talk about it first. I have seen the first 3.5, I think, episodes. Because I had to stop watching, because I had to go to the doctors, make sure I was okay, those kinds of things. Sorts of things that keep you off YouTube. But I'm all good, so don't panic, anyone. But yeah, Marines, which is a pretty big budget, very kind of fly on the wall, no holds barred, look at a sort of Marine unit training to pass competency so that basically they're ready to be deployed in the field. I'm going to defer to my guest with combat experience on this later, but I'm just going to give my thoughts on it first. One of the things I really liked about this show was this. So we home in on various different characters that focus, that work in various different areas of the Marines. So you've got your grunts, you've got your machine gunner specialists, you've got your snipers, you've got your helicopter pilots, and then you've got your jet pilots. And I actually didn't realise that the Marines have their own air force within the Marines. which operates outside of the Royal, outside of the Navy, the American separate force. So, this was quite educational for me in terms of the command structure for the American forces. You basically follow these characters through kind of post-graduation, a lot of talking straight to camera, very no bullshit. This is what life is like. This is what their training is like. This is why they want to be in the forces. And of course, this is very relevant because we're kind of, whether we want to admit it or not, we're kind of on the precipice of World War III at the moment. So the reality is that a lot of these people who are seeing this documentary could be deployed any time, and a lot of them could die. That's the reality. So the one thing I really liked about this show was it focused on two characters who were friends. They're both machine gunners. I'm going to see if I can find their character names. So I
got their picture down. I got their picture down below.
Oh, you got that. Oh, is that the picture? Oh, fantastic. Tox, you read my fucking mind. Thank you, brother. And I'm going to let you comment right after me. Thank you so much for that picture. Yeah.
No
so this is okay. These are the two guys. Was one of them called Clyde? Was one of them Clyde?
I think that's accurate.
Anyway, these are two guys. These are best friends who grew up near each other. Now, the guy on the left, his father kind of abandoned him. He kind of got into some trouble and stuff. And the parents of the kid on the right basically said, come and live with us. And he came and lived with them, and they gave him a family. For me, that was the core moral message of this film. And I fucking loved that. I loved this. And then they interviewed the family, and I thought, what a wonderful thing they did for this kid. Because I guarantee you, if they had not taken this kid in on the left, he would be committing crimes, probably be doing time right now, would have got into all sorts of trouble. But they kept him on the straight and narrow. And he's a very, very determined young man, as is his friend, who's a bit more slow and steady, but win the race kind of attitude. And I really loved these two guys, and I really loved the friendship between the two of them. And I loved what the family did for the kid. And for me, that was at the heart of this film. And I thought, yeah, okay, this is a very hardcore, heavy documentary. There's a lot of stuff about death and people dying and the realities of war and shore and all that kind of stuff. But within all of that, if you peel back the layers, there was this lovely little story about somebody taking a kid in and making him family. And I thought that was a really lovely parallel for the Marines as a whole, but also for the friendship between these two guys. And I just thought that's humanity right there. Now you can get into the anti-war stuff and you can debate all of that stuff. But I really thought that was a great little vignette. And yeah, maybe that's been edited for TV and what have you. But I really liked it. I felt they came across as genuine. I don't know about the authenticity of the rest of the documentary, but I did find it incredibly fascinating. It was also great to see that there were so many women in senior roles, especially in the kind of naval command positions, like the XO on board one of the main vessels of the sort of combat group was a woman. And she felt like someone's aunt kind of thing, but she was great at her job. And I guess that's what counts. Anyway, so Tox, I'm going to turn over to you first, buddy, because you've got the experience here. And I'd like to know, how close to the bone is this? How did you feel it was presented? Did we get a bed of roses, or was this a pretty true depiction? Give us your thoughts.
So yeah, one of the main things. Well, first and foremost, I wasn't a Marine. I was an Army paratrooper.
No, sure, I know. Yeah, I know you're a Marine, but I think you can speak to it with more authority than I can.
I'll certainly give it a try. One thing that I was kind of struck by is that, first of all, happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps. Turned 250 yesterday, so hoorah for that, all my Marine Corps brothers and sisters out there. And then, of course, today is Veterans Day, so again, kind of a double celebration. One thing Netflix is very good at with their documentaries, I don't think it's, people can talk about Stranger Things or, some of their other series that have done very well, but their documentaries, when they really put some effort into it, they do it well. They advertise it well, and they're very well executed. Them showing these two individuals, these two young Marines here, are both E3 and below. So that's like first year in the Marines or Army, you're a E3, pretty low ranking, low responsibility, juxtaposed against like sergeants and captains and lieutenants and things of that nature. So, these are kind of like, you could perceive them in the first episode as like a couple of dude bros, giving themselves, home tattoos in the barracks and, talking about how much they want to like get in it with the enemy and, gun some people down and yada, yada, yada. And then of course, as you pointed out, the revelation that, this kid has a bad, home history, and that is Santa on his way? Is Santa on his way now? Is he jingle belling already before Thanksgiving?
That's not me. Carry on, man. You're doing great.
Okay. So when it's revealed this kid's home history and why they went in together, by the way, that's very normal thing for a couple of guys. There's an incentive program for people to go in what's called the buddy system in both the Army and the Marines. I'm not as sure about the Air Force and the Navy, although maybe they have a similar program, but you get a buddy to go in with you, kind of like if you ever seen the movie Stripes, Bill Murray and, Harold Ramis went in together. You get incentives. They'll give you a little bit more money or rank. And it's cool to just go in as a friend. And of course the DOD reaps Department of War now, it reaps the rewards for that. So I like that story. I like one of the older gentlemen who went in at an older age, and he was old when he was in boot camp, and then now he's the old man in a fatherly role for these guys. I thought that was very, very well done. I'm not through with the series yet because it did just drop, I think, day before yesterday. So I'm getting through it as fast as I can, but I did have to work. So I've kind of had it on in the car and I had it on at breakfast, and I'm very much enjoying it. I like how Netflix slowly reveals some of these things. Like I said earlier in my rant here, I don't think Netflix gets enough credit for how well, when they really put their minds to it, they can do a documentary or a docu-series. They really can do it well. Whether or not it'll be stretched out too far, it remains to be seen on my part. I will do a review on it once I'm complete with it. I'll probably have it out by the end of the week. But so far, I'm pretty enthralled. They're pretty realistic. I like that they were very upfront with the horrific statistic that over 60 Marine have died in training between the years 2017 and 2022.
Yeah, that was a fucking massive revelation for me.
That is big numbers. Those are big numbers. Yeah, you're not supposed to die in training. That's supposed to be a weird anomaly, and it seems in that short span of time, that's a huge. Now, granted, the Marines training tempo, I'll admit, is higher than any of the other services combined. Coast Guard, Air Force, Army, and Navy have nothing on what the Marines do for training. They train, they go hard. It's cranked up to 11 every single time they do it. And when you have that kind of realistic, high tempo, high impact training, that's going to happen, unfortunately, no matter how many safety measures you can put in. I like that they went all the way from, young Lance corporals to seasoned platoon sergeants to female XOs and lieutenants, all the way up to lieutenant colonels who are battalion commanders, showing the differences in, what they do. They even had a young guy that does their kind of drone program and tech guy. He's also, he's also a door kicker, and he's a Marine. So, it's pretty interesting. Anyone that's interested in something with the Marines should definitely look at it. I encourage anyone who's got a family member that's in the service. It doesn't have to be Marines, but if it is, it helps to kind of see what these guys' life is like, and ladies' lives are like during this time when they're going through this. Just a simple thing of switching regions for training can have really, really severe consequences on these people. So it's a good, nice, fascinating look. In some areas, I do think it might be a little watered down, but for the most part, I think it's pretty accurate. And like I said, that revelation in the very first episode of some of the cost of what they do and how they do it was pretty eye-opening. Even I didn't know that. So
Yeah, yeah.
Make of that what you will.
That was okay. Thanks, Matt. Has anybody else seen it apart from me and Tox?
Nope.
Anyone?
Sadly, no. My experience with Marines
I'm
and
quite
Space Marines.
disappointed by my gun-toting panel that they haven't. I'm being sarcastic. I don't know if even any of them own a gun. But okay, all right. Well, fair enough. But I mean, you don't need to be interested in the topic to enjoy this. That's for sure. It's definitely a good watch.
I like the concept of a series that explains, camaraderie and brotherhood and all that kind of stuff, and the relationships that are built during the service. That sounds like
most
a great
people
idea to me,
won't
so-
remember this, but there was a documentary in the 80s. I think it was probably about 1980. Or I'm actually going to say now that the Falklands conflict was 82. So I want to say actually it probably came out around the same time as that, maybe 1 year later. So it might have even been as late as 83, and it was called The Paras. And it's well known in the UK that the Paras train harder than anyone else. They even train harder than the SAS. 1982 it came out. And it followed a company of guys. And you can see it on YouTube. I'm going to put in the link in the chat. Sorry, excuse me. I've got such a bad cough. It was a really good show, and it's pretty similar to this. Let me drop that in for people. Do check it out. It's worth your time. Right, so before I pass into the other realm, let me hand over to Enzo.
Drink some water. Drink some water, brother.
Yeah,
Put
drink,
Enzo in charge for a minute.
I've got some here. Enzo, what have you seen, mate?
I watched Begonia. It was great. Now I knew kind of what was going to happen at the end because I've seen the original, and I'm familiar with the original. But this one's way, I guess, darker, more violent, twisted. But it's a Yorgos Lanthimos. It's his most accessible, least bizarre, most straightforward movie he's ever made, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it was freaking great. It was smaller, a little. It wasn't very ambitious, But Emma Stone was great, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jesse Plemons got some kind of nominations for awards and stuff. I thought it was really awesome. Definitely worth checking out. I know everyone's talking about Frankenstein and Badlands and all that stuff, but nobody's talking about Begonia, which was like amazing. Everyone's complaining about corpo slop, and yet all they watch is corporate IPs, big budget movies.
Agreed.
I also watched another weird little animated movie that I actually was quite fond of. I don't know if everyone would like it. It has a very bizarre, like, video game style animation. It's some prevalent internet illustrator who made the whole movie. But it's called Boys Go to Jupiter, and it was more of I said it was like less of a movie and kind of more of a vibe. There is a story, and it's a cute little story about a kid who works on Grubster, which is like a Grubhub thing, and he delivers food, and he meets some scientists who are growing oranges, and there's like a little alien that is running around town and raiding spaghetti, and it was a bizarre little flick, but I liked it a lot. It's a quirky little film. It was one of those movies where you look at the cast and it's like, oh my god, it's all a bunch of radical, left-wing, crazies, but none of that's really in the movie. There's some some criticism of capitalism here and there, but I mean, overall, the movie was just a cute little coming-of-age movie with some really wild animation and some really awesome color palettes and a really sick soundtrack. Like the songs, it's not a musical, but there are these little musical interludes throughout the movie, and they were cool. it was just a cool little movie. But yeah, Begonia and this, they're really getting slept on. So I would recommend.
What would you give Begonia out of 10?
Dude, Begonia, I would give it like a 9, but it's a really it's a really simple story kind of. So I mean, maybe you'd knock it down to like an 8 or 7. I wouldn't be surprised if most people gave it a 7 at minimum, kind of thing. It's definitely good. It's definitely a fun one.
Okay,
and the thing is, I kind of
seeing.
knew where it was going, and even knowing how the original is, it's like I feel like it made this one more enjoyable, honestly. But I would still recommend probably most people just going to see it kind of blind. But yeah, Jesse Plemons and his friend kidnapped this high-powered CEO woman, and it was cool that they ginger swapped her, because in the original she's like an old Asian man, a Korean guy, but the idea that you change it to a woman kind of makes it darker, you know, because you're kidnapping this woman, but you kidnap her because you think like she's secretly an alien and she's trying to destroy the world. And it's a lot about you know, mass hysteria and psychosis and you know, echo chambers and all that fun stuff. But yeah, Jesse Plemons, real big standout. Also, Stavros from Cumtown, he's in it. He plays the police officer. He's funny. But yeah, Emma Stone and this guy. Also, his little cousin, who's kind of mentally disabled. The cousin was really good as well. What's his name? What is his name there? Kristen Deborah? I can't read that. He was good. It's, you know, the whole movie basically takes place in this house and a couple scenes here and there outside of the house, but it was really simple and fun and enjoyable. And I think I'm reading Axel's comment. Yeah, so that and Boys Go to Jupiter, I think were pretty fun, slept on flicks. I also watched The Worst Thing Ever, which maybe we'll talk about later and for a few weeks, but I watched the first 3 episodes of All's Fair, the Kim Kardashian legal scripted story about divorce lawyers.
Is that the one with
Why?
Is that the one with Glenn Close?
Yes. Yes. And what I
is it
heard
that
was
bad?
Halle Berry was supposed to play Glenn Close's role, but she couldn't do it last minute due to scheduling reasons or dropped out last minute. And then she got replaced with Glenn Close, which is bizarre. But
Sounds like she dodged the bullet from what you're saying.
I don't know, because the show is like peak garbage. It's peak trash. The dialogue, there's no nuance or subtlety. Like these women are calling each other cum burgers, and you know, it's just insane. There's no, like, usually when you have these scenes of like two, you know, corporate executives or lawyers, like they usually, like in the movies and in real life, you know, you do these underhanded kind of back talking little jabs that are kind of subtle, you know, maybe a little. No, there's no subtlety whatsoever. These people are just calling each other bitches and hoes to each other's face. And it's funny because it's all about divorce law. So it's all, every episode so far is like, there's a season-long story, which is about Kim Kardashian's divorce. She's a divorce lawyer who's getting divorced herself, you know. But also, every episode is like, meet new woman. She's married to a horrible man, and we're going to try to get the man's money to her. And the black lady from Reno 911, she's not necessarily a lawyer. She's like an investigator. So she digs up dirt on these people. And then they like either blackmail or do some ridiculous, like they have no idea how legal proceedings work. The writers of the show, Ryan Murphy and company. So like these court cases are like settled in a day or two. And, you know, it ends with like the woman getting all the man's money, and they pop champagne and pat each other on the back for being girl bosses. I'm not exaggerating at all. I know we're talking about these, it's fun to bash on these, garbage movies, these woke shows, these layups, you know. The problem is, like, with Predator Badlands and stuff, like, people are liking it. I'm sorry to say, people are liking the movie. If you guys want easy layups of shit to just trash on, it's fun. It's like the good old days, 2018, getting those dopamine hits of like, it's woke. This is the show. This is the show you all should be talking about. It's insanely horrific, and it's so bad it is entertaining. There's so many layers, and you know, there's still like 8 or 9 more episodes to come, so I actually am excited to watch it week by week. I also watch.
Excited? Why? Why are you excited?
Because it's peak trash. Like I said, it's peak trash TV. The only difference is it's not reality. It's a scripted peak trash show. So I mean, it is definitely fun. But yeah, as far as I know we want to talk about Pluribus. I watched Pluribus. I loved it, but I'm gonna wait 10 weeks and just binge the whole thing because I don't want to. This show, All's Fair, should be. You know, I like this idea of like watching 45 minutes of some epic cringe once a week. Yeah. It's not really woke, Aaron. It's just laughably terrible. It's one of those shows. It's like it's written by gay men for women, and it panders so hard to women. It's like insulting them. And also the other thing I hate about the show or love about the show is it's all about opulence and being a millionaire. So everything is like sushi from Nori and Noonie or whatever the hell the place is called, and trendy spa treatments. And Lance, you've got to mute yourself if you're gonna be blowing your nose, man. There's also
I moved my mic like really far, but
now
you can still hear
we
that.
can hear
we
everything
still
you're
got it.
doing. We can hear. Yeah,
It's in surround sound. All of your fluids are in
Someone here
surround
was telling me my sound is no good. I moved the mic like really far from me, then blow my nose.
If it's any
and go,
consolation, we can probably convince the people that you're just doing lines. You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you're doing
"Oh,
lines
he's
of
afraid."
fat
There's
gator
no
tails.
chance- there's no chance
Who's
for
on
that.
the bumps? Yeah. I would say.
You're welcome to look at the really horrible snot rag that's in front of me right now.
Ew. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so I would say, Begonia, excellent. Boys to Jupiter, quirky, cute, fun. I'd give that one more like a 6 or 7, an enjoyable 6 or 7. Pluribus is excellent. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. But All's Fair, that is like, it's like I give it a 2. But there's so many moments where I was laughing out loud watching it. So it is fun to watch. So I would recommend it if you're looking for, like I said, that throwback to 2018 internet lore where it's just so bad it has to be discussed and everyone's in agreement that it's bad. It's peak trash. So
You're just intimidated because they're strong, brave, independent women. Oh.
okay, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of one of the scenes. There's a guy who, I'm not going to spoil who it is or whatever, but there's like a scene where a guy, he's a high profile athlete, and he's been having like relations with like a trans prostitute, and she is meeting him secretly in like a public place. They have to do the thing where they talk with each other's backs at each other, and very clearly like a trans man. It's no trans woman. I mean, there's no real subtlety to it. But I swear to God, there's a dialogue where she's like saying, "Hey, this divorce lawyer is hitting me up, asking me for interviews, and she basically knows that you and I." But he's like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do?" He's like, "Don't worry, I'm just gonna deny it. And he's like, "Oh man, you're great. You're so awesome." And he's like, "Well, you think I'm doing this for fun? This is transactional, babe. So here's what I want." He's like, when the dust settles and the divorce is over, I want you to take me out on a red carpet date with all the cameras, and I want everyone to see me with you. And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "You understand what this would do for my movement? My trans sisters would see a high-paid, high-profile bachelor athlete taking a trans queen out to dinner. It's gonna make everyone feel awesome." I'm literally paraphrasing, but that's literally like some of the dialogue in the show. It's like jaw to the floor, like, holy God.
You're not selling it.
We are
Sorry.
all dumber for having heard this.
Oh, I know.
We're like-
It's very awful.
This sounds like the kind of thing where if they were doing it as a spoof, like they were taking the piss out of it purposely, then I would think it was very clever. But because it's actually Kim Kardashian thinks she's doing something profound.
I'll give it some
I
credit.
never
There
want
are
to watch it.
there are some non-ironically funny moments, but it's all very I don't know. It reminds me of like your standard like Judd Apatow, like people just saying like gross offensive jokes. Lines. Yeah. It's just like,
I mean,
oh my
there's
God.
a way you can do these kind of things as a satire or as a knowing nod to the camera,
If these were a bunch of dumb hoes who worked at a tanning salon and they talked like this, it'd make more sense. The fact that they're like the highest paid, highest reputable divorce lawyers in the country is insane to me.
But that's
and they
the
always
whole point. That's the whole point, isn't it?
Right.
That's why Murphy and Co. Right, like I like that quote that you had earlier, where it's like they do this to kind of like heat up, like to promote these kind of women, when in reality they're actually dunking on them, in that manner, because they're trying to like praise them up and hype them up, but they're really, they're playing to the common denominator, because they know these kind of chicks, like, that are home housewives or ones that are waiting on, Snap to get reinstated and all that stuff. They're watching this thing going, oh, hell yeah, go get that man's money.
Dude, the other thing that's great about the show is the music. There's some good song choices in the show, but the music, the score itself, there's like 3 themes that are played in every episode, or all 3 episodes so far. And it's like, there's the expository info dump music, and then there's like the sad shit's going down music, and then there's the triumphant we did it girl music that plays at the end of every episode, and it's so hilarious.
Let me ask the panel, is it just me, or could this be a still for a Glenn Close action figurine? Because
she looks, there are some great
close-ups. Probably got more plastic on it, to be fair.
I mean, her face looks like, honestly,
it looks like a wax figure
doll.
Dude, and it doesn't help when they do these close-ups of these 2 actresses in particular. Like, you could just see in HD, like all the foundation they're wearing, it's caked all over them and stuff.
I mean, if I was 20 years old, maybe I would waste the time to watch this. But in my middle ages, I'm increasingly aware that time is a precious commodity.
Al,
I'm a big fan of Glenn Close and Kim Kardashian's butt. I don't need to see her face.
Al, if you watched this show and started breaking down on your channel, I bet your channel would explode. I think if you watched the first 20 minutes of the first episode, the first 10 minutes of the first episode, I don't think you would turn it off in disgust. I think you would accidentally watch the whole thing and be like, whoa, that went by fast.
Does Kim
He doesn't sound
convinced. I'm not sure, man.
I'm not trying to convince you it's good. I'm telling you, it's so bad that it is hilarious.
Okay. And you said 2 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. It's bad. It's one of the worst things
Begonia
I've
was
ever
how many
seen.
out of 10?
8 or 9 out of 10, man. I personally would give it a 9. It's better than the original, I thought, which was fun to do. And, yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I think everyone's sleeping on it this year. Probably one of the better movies of this year.
Just because we didn't give a rating earlier because I was spluttering so badly, what would you give Marines out of 10?
I've not finished it. I've not finished it yet.
No, thus far.
Yeah. Thus far, it's a good 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I
give it the same.
I think it's pretty good so far. Did you finished it? Yes or no?
No, I've done 3.5.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, I think there's six episodes. I think
that's usually their standard. It's usually a thing. I think Enzo pointed this out once. I don't remember. It was either you or Enzo pointed out. They usually do these things, and they're usually like 5 or 6 to 8 episodes, give or take. But they could really be done in a solid 4, and they kind of stretch it out. So I'm kind of gun shy on that a little bit. No pun intended. Just waiting to see if that's are they going to stretch it out?
I don't feel like the show's padded when I'm watching.
You know what? That's one thing I'd give Pluribus some credit for. Is it 2 episodes on, so it's difficult to tell, but it does not feel padded. It feels like they're really getting the most out of the runtime.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get into Pluribus because I watched that quite late, so I didn't have time to tell the whole panel to give it a go. But somebody said to me, "Hey, have you seen this yet? The new show by the guy from Breaking Bad?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "Lance, you kind of like your slightly sci-fi drama. I think you're going to like this." And I started watching it yesterday. I put it on quite late. It was about 10 p.m. UK time. I put on the pilot, and the first 20 minutes is very much about aliens contacting Earth and then maybe an invasion happening. And I thought, my God, this is going to be Diamonds in the Sky. I'm going to be fucked again on one of my ideas.
Yeah, this is pretty original.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed at first because you've got the guys at the the sonar
satellite
station or whatever you call that whole thing is called Project Listen, by the way. The reality of all those telescopes all over the world, the thing that's funded to detect alien life is called Project Listen. That's the reality that actually exists out there in the real world. And so all those nerds that they kind of showed trying to work out what the radio signal meant in the pilot episode, in reality, they would have all been part of Project Listen, because Project Listen's job is to detect intelligent life signals from outer space and decode them if they're received.
Yeah, I also don't think it's that big of a spoiler, because I mean, when you hear the premise, it's the world's most miserable person is going to save the world from happiness, and you're like, what? I thought it was going to be about pharmaceuticals or something. But then when you watch the trailer, it's very obvious there's some kind of body snatchers situation or AI hive mind. There's something going on.
Yeah, but this is not a show starring ads, so it's not the world's most miserable person. Some woman.
It's and I heard a lot of people ragging on this because it's like LGBT propaganda, and it's like I'm not really getting that. I mean, yes, there's some gay characters in the show, but that doesn't really seem to be enough. Unless I could be wrong. Maybe the show pivots and it's all a metaphor about whatever. I don't know. I don't really know where the show's going. The first 2 episodes are very dense. So, I mean, this show seems like it's good. And there's some amazing shots in this show, too, because,
Incredible.
like there's a scene specifically where there's like 4 or 5 like jumbo jets like flying into one airport, like in a big line. And it's like, did they really do that? Or I'm sure it was CG,
that's CG.
But it looked great. It was
Looks good.
Just not even like special effects wise, it looks great. Just like the imagery is really cool. The
premise for this show, for those who haven't seen it, is that an alien signal comes to the Earth. These really superior people detect it, and they realize that the signal is organic somehow, and the only way that they can work out how it means or what it means is to, and bear with me on this because I'm talking Star Trek technobollocks here, is to get rodents to somehow tune into it.
No, that's not it at all. What are you talking about?
Well, they've got all these mice in this lab.
No, so what it is
Go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really want to spoil too much of the details, but yeah, there's a signal, and they know it's coming from somewhere. It's been firing off.
They realize the signal's organic.
It's coming from hundreds of light years away, and it's been transmitting for God knows how long. And they realize, like, it is not what's it called with like
it's a really big word beginning with the letter Q, something.
No, yeah. So I mean, when there's
essential or something.
No. What's it called when there's like 2 yes or no computer speak? Binary. So this is quadrinary or whatever. So there's 4 lines, and they're like, well, why is this signal so difficult to decipher? Why would they what's the word I'm looking for? Encrypt it so well. And then they realize, like, oh, it's not a message in quinary. It is a message in it's the 4 DNA. It's a DNA recipe. So it's some kind of formula. So they create this. They're synthesizing the formula based on the signal, and they are trying it out on mice. And something happens. It's great because there's like this time mechanism for the first episode, at least. I don't know if it'll play out for the rest of the show, probably. But the idea is there's like a 0 hour, and the show starts out, and it's like 400 days. It's like counting down, like 300 days or something like that. And then eventually it's like 17 days away, and then it's like 3 hours away. And then when the shit hits the fan, then it's suddenly like 2 hours, and the clock is now moving forward. And you're like, okay, so like clearly there's like an event. There was a day, there was a moment where, like, whatever it was, like, jumped the gun. It made the leap, and now it's like it's everywhere. It's like a what did they say? It wasn't like it kind of works like a virus, but it's more like a glue. It's not really a virus. What it is, it's some kind of glue that has binded all like DNA together. So basically, like overnight, like all humans share a hive mind. And
right, okay.
Yeah,
it's
That
fucking
could go
cool.
wrong real fast.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the first episode or second episode, at least, is all about look how amazing everything is. Like there's no peace. I mean, there's no war, there's no murder, there's no robberies. Everything is just ended overnight. But of course,
so basically, what you're saying, Enzo, is that everybody becomes non-binary overnight.
Mm-hmm. Kind of, yeah. Because
I mean, I think that's overstating it, but basically, everybody becomes like the people from the Invasion of the Body Snatchers overnight.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all normal DNA is based on two helix.
They show emotion, but the only emotion that they show is happiness.
Right. So it's like a cool, take on Body Snatchers, where instead it's like, what if it wasn't the end of the world? What if it didn't seem all that bad?
Right,
you know, like
okay, so
like what
happy and
there's like there's like a dozen or so people in the world that seem to be immune. And one of the people that is immune is this lady in New Mexico. It is Albuquerque, so it's Vince Gilligan again.
Yeah,
but
and two of the other people that are immune are me and Enzo.
Yeah, she's like a writer who writes like hack sailor romance fantasies, and she's in a lesbian relationship with her wife, and I don't know, she's not a happy person, but for some reason she's immune.
Her relationship is with her publisher, who's also her partner.
Right, and they have she's immune along with a dozen or so other people, but she seems to be the only one that's like, this is wrong. Like this seems bad, and we need to figure out a way to like.
Is it based on a book or?
No, it's a Vince Gilligan.
No, it's not. Sounds like it should be.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
One of the interesting things is if she gets upset, like in this scene, and she gets over emotional, she can cause the hive mind, which is very emotionally sensitive, to stall. Which means whatever they're in the middle of doing, they suddenly stop doing, like driving trucks or
so like if you are
piloting planes. And she finds that later. One of the times where she had an outburst killed 11 million people.
So like all humans are like sharing existence together. Like if you're insulting one person, you're insulting everybody at once. You know, if you're, it's just weird. It's just a crazy mechanism, and I really don't know how far it's going to go.
Being a Karen.
Well, yeah, but it's funny because it's like, what if the only person left on Earth was this like lesbian Karen?
And, one woman screws up utopia.
It sounds intriguing, but how much of it is there?
There's only 2 episodes, and I think there's going to be like 10 total. I don't know if there's. I hope it's not one of these shows that's like going to be 5 seasons long, but it might be.
I mean, I think 2 to 3 seasons would be.
If this was like a mini series, I'd be way more stoked for it. And if it is Vince Gilligan, and I'm hoping that it is all pre-planned. Like there's kind of like with Breaking Bad, they had a planned ending. So whenever the show wraps up, we know how we're going to end it. So I hope that as long as they have that for this, and the show doesn't just disappear like a fart in the wind. I feel like it's promising. The first 2 episodes, very promising.
But it does sound like something that's borrowing from other sources, but is maybe trying to do something a bit new with it as well. It could be worth a watch.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't really like TV shows. This is like the first time I've seen a TV show in a long time that's like, oh, this is sick. Like, because usually my whole critique is like, why wasn't this a movie? This is one of those times where I'm like, I think I'm understanding why this might be 8 or 9 hours long. Because it seems like there's a lot of ground to cover and a lot of cool stuff you could do with a show like this.
Based on the first 2 episodes, Stupenzolicious, what's your rating thus far?
I mean, so far it's difficult to tell. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 just for like the imagery and the. I mean, just if you watched, like, if this show never got picked up and it was just a standalone pilot, I would still love this. Like, it's like, whoa, that was cool. I wish they had turned that into a show. Like,
I agree.
It's very solid. Very
solid. Very strong opening 2 episodes. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well. This guy's kind of funny because he's one of the survivors, and he just decides he's going to inherit Air Force One and live the life of a playboy, which I'm not sure that kind of works, but it's kind of fun. So, yeah, I'd recommend it to everybody. Maybe view it and let's have a discussion on it next week, because I think me and Enzo are probably the only 2 people that have seen it. Luke, did you see it at all?
I've seen some of it. I've not had a chance to finish the first episode, but it does look very intriguing, though. It does. I like Rhea Seehorn. She wasn't pulling any of the feminist rubbish when she was promoting Better Call Saul. I like Vince Gilligan. He's not let us down just yet. So I do want to go a bit forward and see how this pans out in the next few episodes, and hopefully it doesn't drop the ball.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to continue watching it. So watch this space. All right. Let's move on to possibly Critic Hour's film of the year. I'm going to talk about Predator Badlands. Now, as it's my channel, I'm going first. So Critic Hour said, I'm going to the cinema to watch this. I've got a ticket booked for Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock in Scunthorpe or somewhere. And I said, okay, I'm also going to go to the cinema, not to be outdone. And I did. I went to the cinema. No piracy involved.
So did I.
And now, this is a 2-tiered review. So I'm got to caveat that before people start chiming in. It's a 2-tiered review. There's the tier of me that just wanted to go and watch a film and turn off and enjoy some fun. Now, on that basis alone, this film wasn't that bad. It was like, yeah, kind of when I watched it, I was not bored at any point, actually, during the film. There were some fun sequences. And, it was a good laugh in places. And I quite enjoyed it. I thought the special effects, for the most part, were pretty good. Quite liked the creatures and stuff. Now, then there's the second tier to this review. It's set in the Predator universe. There were so many things about it being set in that universe that I didn't like. I didn't mind you're an outcast, you've got to go and prove yourself. That all worked fine. Coming back, teaching Dad a lesson, loved all that, actually. Thought all of that stuff was pretty good. But there was a lot of nonsense as well. There was like the Earth forces have built this huge compound, which presumably and is defended by all these guys with pretty high-tech weaponry. Yet somehow, in the middle of this compound, which has carved out all the foliage and the land around it, the tree monster is able to appear with its big tentacles and suddenly attack the androids, which comes down from the trees, which don't exist in the compound because we've seen an overhead shot of the compound and there are no fucking trees in it because they've cut them all down to create the compound, which is very big. It's not like 100 meters across. It's like 2 kilometers across. Very big. So there was stuff like that. That was like, you put that in, but you haven't thought about it because you just broke the rule that you created earlier in the film. That kind of stuff really fucking annoyed me and just made me realize that this was written by children with no brain. And then somebody in the pitch meeting room, presumably when a pretty decent version of the script was turned in where the Predator didn't talk much, and I'm guessing it was fairly minimal, and there was probably an android that was a bit broken, and there was a little bit of communication between the android and the Predator, but I'm guessing that was fairly minimal in an early draft, right, of this script. Some cunt at that boardroom meeting went, this should be a buddy movie. And let's give the android lots of dialogue and make it really funny. And we'll have this banter back and forth. It'll be like a cop film from the 1980s. That's a good idea. And that translated to the android basically not stopping talking from the point that it's introduced on the screen, which is really fucking irritating. I would have been really happy to have watched a 2-hour movie with this Predator character. I didn't have a problem with the makeup or how it looks or anything like that. It's young Predator. That was all fine. Being sort of, sending to this planet, I'm going to go and kill the biggest beast that everyone's talked about. Great plot idea. I could have done completely without Weyland-Yutani and had him simply battling monsters on that planet, no android in the film at all, and then having him come back, bringing the skull of the monster, throwing it in front of the dad, and then challenging the father. They have their fight. end a movie, where we came to. You can even have the bit with the mother turning up at the end, whatever. And that would have been a good film. And I bet that film existed somewhere in this project. So it's a mesh of, wow, that's a really good idea. Wow, that's a really good idea. Wow, that bit looks really good. Wow, that scene looks really good. To, God, that scene doesn't look good. Why is that happening there? You've just contradicted something you established in the film earlier. So fucking frustrating. I feel like these films and Alien Earth and other things, they lack somebody with an iron fist who's got a bit of gumption and a bit of knowledge and a bit of a textbook standing over this thing going, no, you can't have that sequence because that contradicts the bit you wrote earlier. Do that bit again. Rewrite that bit, whatever. So now, all of that said, purely as it stands, it's not the worst Predator film ever. It's definitely one of the better ones. Is it a great Predator film? No. Is it a fun science fiction film? Yes. Is it the film that I wanted it to be? No. Was it an enjoyable movie? Yes. So it's a film of contradictions. That's really where it stands with me. It is a film of contradictions because we hold up anything that's being launched into an IP that we know and love, Star Wars, Aliens, whatever it might be, to very high standards. And that's kind of unfortunate in a way. And I don't mind people trying to do new things. I love that, actually. And this film did try to do a lot of those. And a lot of that stuff was really fun. So I kind of enjoyed it. But there was some stuff that just really fucking irritated me that could have been very simple corrects. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. I think there's a lot in it that's good, that has merit. So I think to say it's a crap film and dismissing it is foolishness. But I think to also laud it as an amazing, it's the best film since the original, is also foolishness because it's not. But it's an okay addition to the franchise that I quite enjoyed. And I'll happily watch again and maybe see some things I missed. But it did irritate me. So that's my take on it. Enzo, I want to hear yours first before we go.
Yeah, I actually got to get going in 5 or 10 minutes to debate this movie against fucking rags from EFAP movies. So I don't know. I actually flat out liked this movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, solid C+. I liked it more. I liked it. Look, Superman, Jurassic World, Fantastic Four this summer. I thought those were all okay too. I gave them C minuses. This one might actually get a C+, maybe even a B minus. Obviously it's not a typical Predator movie, slasher flick, a bunch of badasses getting hunted. This was obviously a adventure film with a Predator. But I'm not really understanding the hate it's getting. Like you said, to say it's dismiss it, and just I enjoyed this movie. I had fun watching it. It felt like a good old fashioned, like a Dark Horse Predator floppy comic you would read back in the 90s. I got the Predators talking. It took some getting used to, but I got used to it by the time we're in the ship and the two brothers are talking with their helmets off. I thought that the language. The thing is, you watch this movie and I'm realizing, like, first of all, just like Aliens and Terminator, the more sequels we get, like, just the worse these franchises get on the whole. You realize the Predator franchise and it's on its own is not very good. The Predator movie, the first one, is amazing for some reason, even though on paper it shouldn't be that great. There's just something extra magical happening with the making of the first Predator movie. That's why there's such a drop-off from all the sequels. I would easily put this in the top 4 of all Predator movies. Now, to be fair, I watched this right after watching The Predator for the first time, and I hated that one. And so it's not just like, oh, Enzo's just he likes everything, and he's a simp, and he's a shill. No, I hated The Predator. There were many moments where I had to rewind it. There were many moments where I was like, what? It was awful.
Yeah, that was a terrible film.
This one, I like this one more than Prey. People were ragging on this one because it's like girl bosses and femininity, but then they're like praising Prey like we weren't all shitting over Prey for the same thing.
Actually, I like this more than Prey. I would agree.
See, Prey, I
agree
guess,
with that.
follows the Prey follows the actual Predator formula more. I'll give it that. But I didn't mind they changed this up. I liked all the cool. I liked how you show all this cool alien Predator tech, and then it all gets taken away. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some issues. It's a little obnoxious at the beginning when we first meet. What's her name? Thea. But I kind of warm up to her. She learns to shut up. And then also, as the movie goes on, at the end, the climax, there is some stupidity. Like, I don't mind this, like, assault on synth base. That's cool. But it just got a little stupid when he makes, like, a tree root, or, like, no, I'm sorry, he makes, like, a animal armor mask. He has to wear a mask. The whole point of the mask is, like, you have all this tech in the mask. You know, it's not really just to protect your face from getting hurt. So the mask was stupid. I also thought, like, the shoulder-mounted eel thing he had, it's a little bit dumb.
How did you like the exploding grubs?
See, I thought the exploding grubs were cool. I knew as soon as we found one, it was like, okay, well, that's obviously a setup for later.
It's kind of a setup, wasn't it?
Obviously, this is going to be used later. It's like, we learn all this stuff about all the nature, and then the end of the movie is like using that nature to our advantage. But I did like how, Deck, he actually has a good character arc. I liked how he's this, like, short king who has to prove himself. He's got a lot of issues. I mean, they were trying to just kill him for his height. He has to really prove himself. I thought there was a great character arc with him. And also with Thea, the robot chick, she kind of comes to her own. I saw, like, I'm not going to lie, I think I enjoyed this more than Frankenstein, which is funny because Frankenstein technically is a better movie, but we're talking about movies that, like, change that mess with the lore and are queer coded for unnecessary reasons. Frankenstein fits that bill more than this does. I thought there's like one or two egregious changes in the Frankenstein movie that I was, like, not cool with. But I did like all the gore. I did like all the set design and the production design. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I think both of these movies, I think this movie's getting a lot of unnecessary hate. And Frankenstein might be getting overpraised, I feel. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love the soundtrack onto this. I liked, because the Predator, what sucked about the Predator was, like, recycling the Alan Silvestri score. That was terrible. This one, like, does its own thing with, like yacht jaw synth music with like this Mongolian, like, throat singing and these, like, weird, like, synth hums. I thought that was
especially
cool.
like the sympathetic, whimsical music during the cute moments.
Yeah, like I said, I understand the criticism that this movie does kind of play more towards general audiences. I understand that this movie seems to be just more generic action flick.
Are you actually going on EFAT to debate this?
No, I'm going to go on Dark Hour's channel. Rags is going to be there. Dark Hour's like, I guess Dark Hour liked it too, and he knows I liked it, so he needs someone, like, in his corner, I guess.
He needs backup on this one.
The betrayal.
Yeah, Dark Hour to stop fucking scheduling opposite me, dude. He can go later.
I told him, apparently he's got other co-hosts. I don't know I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Go sabotage him. Go on, go sabotage his show.
Oh yeah, just be on his show. Be like, I hated it too. I don't know what you're talking about, Dark Hour.
And just go on there and start talking, and don't stop talking until the show finishes.
Well,
He's
for
gonna
me,
do that anyway.
For me, like, I mean, the same
I
thing
know.
with this.
What you've never seen? What has he been doing this entire episode? What are you?
Look, I'll close. I'm just before I go, I would just like to say it's not really this movie in general. It's just like the movies in general this year. I'm realizing, like, the culture war is kind of shifting to this more, like, I don't know, it just focused, like I said earlier, like, the idea of, like, being addicted to those dopamine hits from early 2018 where you could just, like, rag on stuff and everyone just agrees and pats and
birthday clown. Birthday clown.
It's just it's getting a bit disingenuous now.
Really
I feel it's like, people wanting to, like, rather than pivot and admit that things are actually getting a little bit better, because I was looking at the list of the movies from 2022 and it's horrific. There was, like, Influencer and The Northman and, like, not much else. This movie, like, I could easily pull up a top 20 versus, like, a top 5 or top 10, which we've been doing previous years, because, like, the pickings are slim. Now, granted, we're not quite out of the woods yet, where, like, movies are fucking amazing now, but we are getting just less awful movies. Just truly terrible.
I would agree. Absolutely would agree with you. And there's
So, I mean, this movie,
some good stuff coming.
Like I said, just demanding like the highest the highest standard, demanding the highest level of excellence from our movies is a bit. It's not gonna. You're gonna be disappointed. So I mean, it's okay to have like a fun popcorn flick that's like decent and doesn't piss you off. Like this movie did not piss me off at all. I enjoyed it. I feel like the people in the theater enjoyed it. And granted, it is a little more kiddie, but I would still give it a solid 6 or 7, 6.5. Like I said, top 4 Predator movies, and there's a huge drop off between the top one, number 1, and the other ones. But yeah, I don't know. I would tie it with Predators or AVP, even maybe AVP. Probably it's kind of more down there with that one, but it's fun. And yeah, PG-13. A lot of people complaining about PG-13, but I see why it's PG-13. The only blood in it is green and white, so there's no red blood in it. But it is pretty gory for synthetic blood.
Thank you very much.
I gotta go. I'll see you all later. I'm re-releasing. I bought a vampire motorcycle tomorrow for the We Watch, so we're
Danny Webb's in that.
Yeah, we're the very first We Watch we ever did that nobody saw. I'm just re-releasing it tomorrow, so check it out.
Danny Webb is in that. He's my mate.
Anthony Daniels from C-3PO.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta go. I'm late. Thanks. Wish me luck. Argue with Braggs about this.
All right. Okay.
Well, later.
Critic out your views.
Okay. I understand some of what Enzo says. Even if you strip away all the Predator stuff,
I talked before him. I know that seems like a long time ago now, but I also expressed the view before he did.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Sorry, that was last year, wasn't it?
Was around last year? Yeah, about a year ago.
You sort of had similar thoughts as well, because you said you rate it on 2 levels, and so do I.
I think as a science fiction fun film, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's mediocre.
I think there's some, but still not bad. You know,
there's some horrific writing problems with this. When I was watching this film, and I will take away all the Predator stuff just for now, there was not one moment of surprise. I was literally scenes ahead in the film, predicting what was going to happen. Everything was so telegraphed that it may have just had neon arrows pointing to things. Every single one. The film is full of stupid mistakes. Why would you have, when you're studying alien monsters on a planet, which is what they're doing, why would you make your female synths more sensitive? They're animals.
Yeah.
They're animals. Somehow they're suddenly fluent in the Yautja language. But only those 2. None of the hundreds of male white synths have a clue about Yautja, which is even more stupid because, with spoilers, they capture Dek, and the 2 annoying Tia and Dek are talking to each other, and the male synth hasn't got a clue what's going on.
Don't ask questions, just consume products.
Exactly that. And that's what people are doing. People are lapping this up. And yes, there are fun parts of this film. If you turn your brain off, then you could say this is a half-decent action film. But the mech that Tessa, the evil twin, is driving has a windshield that she only puts up after she gets stabbed. And like I said, I'm not even touching any of the Predator stuff. I'm not talking about that. It's just not a good film. And yet people are extolling its virtue, saying that Dan Trachtenberg is this some kind of genius that's going to elevate the Predators franchise to a whole new level. No, the film's just not that good. I'm sorry, it really is. It's generally, it is indicative of the general slop that we are served out at the moment. The slop that we're served at the moment, they're just like, look, again, like Northern said, don't ask questions, just consume product and, get next product. This film is better than The Predator. The Predator is the single most damage I've ever seen to a franchise in my entire life. I think that this film elevates Prey, in all honesty.
I'd prefer this over Prey.
Mainly due to the simplicity of Prey. It sticks with the simple, Predator versus something. This, if we start getting into the predator side of it, is appalling. For a start, the design of Deck in general is made so that all of his features are softened and he's more human. I never wanted the Predator to be more human.
But the thing they don't discuss in the film is that his mum had a torrid affair with a big buxom space marine. This is why he had slightly softer human features. He's a half-breed. That's why the dad disowns him, doesn't like him. They cut all of that out.
that's in the deleted scenes. But yeah, everything he does is just humanized. You know, when he gets frustrated, you know he's frustrated. When he gets sad, you know he's sad. You know, every single thing about him is just humanized. So any of the mystery, the intrigue, the inscrutable nature of the Yautja is gone. He's just another young male humanesque character. What I would like to have seen is a lot less talking.
Agreed.
A film like Wall-E, for example, has shown that you can have
the first
a protagonist.
Wall-E with that would have been great.
Exactly that. Silent. No Tia making stupid quips like a 5-year-old every 5 seconds. You know? None of this stupid, like the bit where Bud, the alien, and by the way, I worked out what Bud was well in advance as well, like many scenes in advance. But the bit when Bud is mimicking Deck, the Predator, and Deck's like trying to joke with him and tease with him, I was like, no, come on, please. I didn't just flip up my finger. I threw my hands up. What am I watching? The bit where
that was the Disney merchandising opportunity.
The bit where the two halves of the android are fighting these supposed battle drones, as Dan said earlier, and beating them easily. Just legs, nothing else. And they're destroying all of these battle drones that are supposedly... So the justification for them not having the Yautja language is that they're grunts. That doesn't make any sense. They would still have, you know... There's lots of scenarios in which it would be useful to know the Yautja language. But yeah, they're getting wrecked by this half of an android. And even better, earlier in the film, there's this massive sequence where we see that it's going to take ages, like minutes, maybe even like 20 minutes, to reattach these two halves of the android. And then later, when the script needs it...
My other guests, Sal.
It's done in 30 seconds. Yeah, no, I'll shut up now. All I'll say is I'm doing a whole video breakdown, just like I did with Alien Earth, where I will destroy this film and its writing.
For the first 2 minutes, and then he's going to spend an hour talking about his love and affection for many other aspects of the film. Northern, what did you think of it, mate? You've seen it, right?
I have not seen it, no. I'm really not keen on seeing it, to be honest. I'm okay with the first two. After watching three...
Mate, right, you can just say I've not seen it. We can end it there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Rachel, you seen it?
I have. I had to.
Okay. And?
It's, let's be honest, the Predator franchise it's a bit of a low point since the first film. It never
All right, hang on.
anything close.
Let me phrase this differently. What did you like about it, if anything?
What did I like about it? I liked that they actually did make the Yautja the main character. I've been wanting that.
Yeah, I think
I
that was
don't
good
like
call.
everything they did with him. I do like that he is a runt and has to prove himself. I didn't mind that. It does go against the lore in places, but I did like what they did with him. I don't like her as much as I could, and I'm using my point at her like an idiot. But anyway, I don't like her as much as they want me to. As usual, I would have been happier without a female character. I like the setting. I like the creature designs apart from him. And that's a problem. That's a big problem for me.
I didn't mind his design.
Yeah.
I thought his design was fine. But I get
He
where you're
is too
coming
human.
from. Yeah, okay. Well, they could have changed that by giving him a lot less dialogue and also changing his dialogue. and then he would have been a lot less human. So, and they should just have put a bell on him, and he could have communicated with that. Yeah.
Oh God! It's just the holidays, okay? We're just ready for Christmas around here.
Let's
All
get the
right.
Christmas vibe.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said in the scrolling titles. It's just to do with Christmas. It's nothing to do with the cat. Yeah, I'm not clear where it's set in the timeline.
It's
Like,
200
judging-
years after Alien Resurrection.
Okay. I mean, yeah, because it's judging from the technology of the Wayne and Yutani guys, it's pretty advanced. So, yeah. I give this a 6 out of 10 for a Predator film, a 7 out of 10 for a. If you haven't seen another Predator film and you're coming in and you're watching this for the first time because you're 2, or you've got a belt tied to your neck, then I give it a 7. But yeah, Toxic, have you seen it?
No, I didn't see it. Thank you, Al, for watching it for me so that I don't have to suffer through this.
Okay.
I did thank you on your channel for that.
Yes, you did.
Northern
Thank you.
Toxic, we sacrificed ourselves for you. Okay. Northern, what have you got to recommend us this week, mate?
Well, I did watch Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro version, and yeah,
Now available on Netflix.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it is pretty fucking good. It's not as great as
Nice.
everyone's making out, but it is. I think it is one of the best films to come out this year. Though it
Mhm.
is. It's definitely got that Guillermo del Toro sort of like Lovecraftian gothic combined hyper-realism look, where it's set in the 1800s, but it's like an 1800s that has just come out of being conjured up from del Toro's head. And also Oscar Isaac is really good in the role, and it does feel very much like it's going a little bit more taking more from the Kenneth Branagh version, but it does improve on a lot. Where at the beginning of the Kenneth Branagh version, the bits where we flash back to his mum dying, which led to his obsession, they always felt a bit rushed. But here, this movie does take its time a little bit more and delve a little bit more into his tragic childhood, everything, and even highlights a little bit of the cruelty he can be when he becomes frustrated that his creation isn't learning to function properly. But Elordi pretty much steals every scene that he's in. He really does. He captures everything about the monster, the tragedy, the heartbreak, and even the beastly rage when he's threatened by any hostility. Mia Goth is terrible, though. She really is. She does this really bloody cringe-worthy speech, anti-war speech to her father, who's an arms dealer.
This was
But
Rachel
more than
Percy.
happy. She's more than happy
There's no cats in the picture. It can't be.
right off his profits. She's a hypocrite. I hate her take on Elizabeth. I got nothing against Mia Goth. I just hate her interpretation of her character. Christoph Waltz, great, he really is, but it still doesn't top the original Universal Frankenstein.
Does he do a 10-minute speech about milk?
Yeah. I don't know, milk. Yeah, milk. It's good. I can just say
Okay.
milk is good for 10 minutes. That's it. There was no chemistry between these two. I thought her and the kind of romance between the monster was stupid. But I do still think Boris Karloff is the best monster, because he can convey so much more sympathy without saying a word. I mean, Bride of Frankenstein is a great example of that as well, and he gets you on his side straight away in a short amount of time. But this is still
What are you giving
good.
this? What are you giving this out of 10?
I'd give it a good 8 out of 10, because I really didn't like the regeneration thing. I don't like the fact he's like superhuman. I mean, come on, that was going too far. He breaks a ship free from frozen ice. It was ridiculous. He holds a stick of dynamite. It explodes. And he's still standing. His limbs aren't splattered across the bloody snow or anything. It does
Oh, who did
almost...
we lose?
Yeah.
Lost
We
someone.
lost Rachel.
Oh, okay. She'll be back. Critic out. I know you can't
Yes.
be completely unbiased because, of course, you played Man in Furry Coat with Beard 7.
Yeah.
But have you seen it? What do you think?
I have, yeah. I was in Manchester over the weekend, but I rushed home on Monday to watch this. I really want to see this. I'm still gutted I didn't get to see it in the cinema. I have just finished recording my review for this. It will be up tomorrow. I love Del Toro's work. I love Del Toro's passion, his vision. And from those perspectives, this film is just absolutely phenomenal. It looks so good, apart from some really, really dodgy CGI.
Agreed.
But he's meddled with the story too much, unfortunately. And it really negatively impacts the dynamics of the characters. For example, the Elizabeth character, which is played by, as Northern has said, a rather wooden Mia Goth, and she is talented. I don't know why she hasn't bothered doing more, has been changed from Victor Frankenstein's fiance to his brother's fiance. And now his brother is all grown up. So you've got this kind of weird menage a trois thing going on. And then it turns into a menage a quatre thing because she's got a thing about the monster as well. And these little changes that have been made, although it is Del Toro's vision, and I appreciate that, they don't help the narrative. And in the end, the film feels like something's missing. For example, this character that Christoph Waltz plays, Harlander, is completely made up.
Maybe the thing that's missing is the technical term for menage a quad.
Yeah, I have no idea what it would be. I mean, I
sure
presume
it's
it
a
would be
thing.
menage a quatre, because quatre is French
There we
for
are.
four, isn't it? So
Yeah, I think I think Christoph Waltz's character is like another version of Waldman.
yeah, and like he funds the experiments. Basically, he's got his own reason for doing that.
Yeah, and he does sort of like point out some other information that helps Frankenstein achieve his ambition as well.
Yes, he does. Yes, you're right. He gives him like almost like the key and stuff like that. But what I did really like about this film, and I mean really like, was Jacob Elordi's creature. He is so good. The film is nothing. It is almost nothing without him. Without him, it just kind of becomes a picture book. His acting is range. He can do rage. He can do compassion, vulnerability. Really, really liked it. But the film is flawed. For me, it's also an 8 out of 10. It actually reminded me of Nosferatu at the start of the year.
Yeah, they're trying to really sex up these beasts, aren't they? With,
and as you say, the regeneration Wolverine thing was just kind of dumb, really. And there were some moments that I wanted them to do more with, like the blind man played by David Bradley. And then there were some bits I felt went on for too long, like the first half of the film.
I love David Bradley as an actor.
I recognised his voice. He's got a great big white beard. I recognised his voice. I was like, oh, I know that voice. And he was great. But yeah, I mean, it's good. And Del Toro, Del Toro just doesn't really put out terrible films in any way. But for all of the visual splendor and brilliance that we get, narratively, I just thought it had a few problems.
Okay, ratings out of 10, those people that have seen it. And Fox, have you seen it, by the way?
No, but it's on my Plex Pass. I just was busy watching other stuff, but I will definitely look at it.
On that subject, someone in the UK I know has got a Plex Pass to work.
Okay.
So
well, the
we
offer's
should
still
have
there.
to investigate that, sir.
Yeah, the offer's still there. If you would like to have access to it, I have over 7,000 movies, and it increases daily, and I can get pretty much anything I want on it. So let me know.
So guys, ratings out of 10 for Frankenstein.
I'm in agreement with Northern here. 8 out of 10 for me. I did enjoy it. It's just frustrating that there was a bit more meddling than I think was required.
But that's still a solid recommend, though.
It's also 2.5 hours long, so it's not a short watch.
No. So maybe better to watch it on Netflix. If, like me on Wednesday, you have to do the Ho Chi Minh two-step. You've got the comforts of home and the pause button.
I do wish it got a wider cinema release, though, because I mean, it would have looked so good on like an IMAX or something. It really would have been phenomenal, but still a very good film. And some of the acting, I think, will attract some awards buzz.
Okay, I'm going to mention a couple of things I have seen that I want to give a shout out to. So, one of the things I mentioned the other week that I thought looked pretty good was a 4-part miniseries about the life and death of Andrew Garfield, who was a president briefly for the United States. Feels like he could have been a great president. Sadly, he was not a president for very long. He's played by Michael Shannon. This is on Netflix. Shannon does a great job. And he fell into the job kind of by accident. He stood up to speak on behalf of someone else when people were sort of being nominated to be in line for the next president. And then, of course, people would vote. And his speech went down so well that people started voting for him. And at that point, what happened was he suddenly found he was on the ballot the next day when a majority hadn't been reached, and gradually more and more people voted for him. The guy that he originally spoke on their behalf of dropped out, and the next thing he knew, he was president. One of the interesting things about this show, apart from the cast, both of whom are excellent, Matthew McFadden plays Charles Guiteau, who ultimately assassinated him with great kind of feverish insanity. I love him as an actor. He's so good in the recent show, of course, that he did about the billionaire entitled family, and he's kind of one of the hangers-on trying to get his way. He stole that show. Him and the actress who played his wife completely stole that show. Sheer Wiggum is another actor who I absolutely love. A lot of you will remember him as Steve Buscemi's brother in Broadwalk Empire. He's gradually been kind of stealing character roles left and right on various different shows, and he plays Roscoe Conklin, who's a senator who's very influential. He's out of New York. New York controls all the ports, therefore they have considerable influence, and they're trying to influence who gets in the presidency and what that means and so on. Bradley Whitford's in it. He's very good as well. Played James Blaine. I really like Betty Gilpin in this. She plays Garfield's wife. Very underrated actress.
Great actress.
Yeah, I really like her in this. She really gets to do, her roles are normally a lot smaller, but I've seen her in a lot of stuff, and this just hammers home. This show just hammers home what a fantastic actress she is. And Nick Offerman, well, needs no introduction. Parks and Recreation. Don't talk to him about steaks and meat, but he puts in a really good performance in this. Actually, he's I think a cut above a lot of the other stuff that he's done. Yeah, I watched this pretty much in a single sitting. I'd say you don't need to be a history buff to enjoy it, but that certainly helps. It's really sumptuous looking, the production design, costumes, all of that stuff, first class. I didn't know kind of how the presidential debates and things were handled back then, kind of how nominees were put forward and stuff. I did find all of that side of it really fascinating. And it was also really fascinating that, people could just turn up at the White House and sort of stand in line to talk to the president about anything from a wacky invention to a new design for a golf club or whatever. Utter nonsense that they really shouldn't have been wasting his time. And Andrew Garfield didn't even insist on any kind of armed security, didn't even have bodyguards, So, and somebody did suggest that to him, and he dismissed the idea, said that the president should be accessible. Well, we all know that's not really practical in the common field. But this is a really good show. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not going to be for everyone because the content and the topic is fairly niche. But if you like powerhouse acting and you like historical drama and you like true stories, you can't go wrong. 9 out of 10 from me. Has anyone else seen it?
I've never heard of it.
No,
I literally, the first I heard of this was when I saw that Stuttering Craig did a video about it.
Well, I mentioned it last week. That would be the first time you heard of it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I mentioned it last week. Said this is a show that I'm going to watch.
Has Enzo spoken since then?
Right at the end, I mentioned it, but I didn't make it an insist that everyone watched it. I just said I'm.
Oh, right, it wasn't homework.
Remember,
No,
Leroy went. Oh, Leroy went. Oh, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good. I really like Michael Shannon as an actor. So, how much was there? Like 4 or 5 episodes?
It is good, although Darth Plato says the shooting scene was botched. It's all right. You know.
They did their best.
You said you binged it in one go, so it can't be that long.
No, I think it's like 4 episodes.
Cool.
It's great.
Okay.
Good. Yeah,
Thank God.
It's the optimum Enzo time for a show, you know?
No. He'd watch it at triple speed. Then it would be.
Yes.
Enzo's
That's the only
show.
way you can get through all this stuff, I'm sure of it. Either that or he just lives in a parallel. He's actually the Flash or something, you know? I mean.
So this
no, it's cool.
Sunday,
It's cool. I was watching the ferry thing today, so I didn't get around to it.
So this weekend is the 40th anniversary of one of the best British action films ever made. I'd also argue it's one of the best British films ever made. And that's The Wild Geese. And I'm going to see it on the big screen, not for the first time. This will be the second time I've seen it on the big screen because I hired out a cinema for everyone to watch it on my 30th birthday. If you've read my book, Silver Screen Journeys, you'll know that because the story of that is in there. But what's interesting is I have got hold of a guy called Mr. Edwards, who I have managed to verify worked on the production as a runner and was on the film for the whole shoot. And he's agreed to come on the channel to talk about it. But he's not very well at the moment. He is quite old. So, but I got hold of him today, just before I came on. So I'm looking forward to having him come on and talk about the show or talk about the experience of making the film. But one of the things that was interesting for me was, because I'm always fascinated about how and where films are shot, is that the whole film was shot in this area called the Shipsea, which is in North Transvaal, South Africa. Right? Okay, and this is this is basically here is Tripsea Resort, okay, which is where the cast would have stayed. It's probably been more modernised now, so it probably wasn't that lovely back then. But I dare say it probably had the tennis courts and whatnot. And you can see there's these little bungalows. See these pods? These are little bungalows where people can stay, right? So this is where the cast would have stayed when they shot The Wild Geese. Now, The Wild Geese is a rescue mission film about a group of 50 mercenaries going into Africa to rescue a fallen president from a small African nation whom Western business interests are hoping to put back in power because he'll be friendly to them and therefore he will give them copper concession rights to the country. Okay? The mercenaries get betrayed. The businessmen decide to put their interests elsewhere and they decide they don't want to pay the mercenaries, so they order the plane that's coming to pick them up to turn around and leave them there. And the mercenaries get stuck and they have to fight their way out. Now, the scenes, once the film takes place and moves to Africa, principally take place at the airfield, 2 different airfields, at the military compound where they're training, and then also the military compound that is the place where they have to go and conduct the rescue. And then ultimately they have to fight their way through to this airfield where they try and get out. Now, the airfield was this strip here. So this track here, this was the airfield for the movie. Now, bearing in mind, this is a long time after, so you can see it's almost gone now. But it's quite interesting to note that plus also the military base, which would have been here, is all like right next to the island and the hotel. And then there's a sequence involving a river where they're crossing a river. There's a load of people that are shot and stuff like that. All of that sequence took place around here. You can see the river there. It's largely dried up now, but there it is. That all took place around there. So it's quite interesting that the film had this feeling that it takes place over quite a big portion of Africa, but actually pretty much all of the filming took place on different sides of this hill, and with the cast and crew all being based in this resort. So there you go. I thought that people would find that interesting. But it's if you haven't seen this film in the cinema, I don't think Critic Cow and Northern have.
No,
I'm not
I will
sure
be.
you've even seen the movie at all. Then
I have. It's been a long time.
that doesn't
I would have
matter.
watched it with
That's
my dad
even
back in the
better.
day.
If you can't remember it, and you can go, if you saw it with your dad when you were a kid, but you can't remember much about it, only that it felt like it was probably quite good, then I strongly urge you, for the next time, rather than you watching it on DVD or whatever, go and see it at the cinema this weekend, because there are limited screenings all around the country. There's a post about them here, and they're either on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. But wherever you are in the UK, there is one near you somewhere. So here we've got Bristol, Cardiff, Coventry, Derby, Dudley, Glasgow. I've already passed these Scottish ones on to Drinker. He's going to take his son to one of them. Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, Nottingham. There you go, Al.
Yep, I've already got it queued up here. The view page. I'll be
Nottingham,
seeing it
16th, 18th, and 27th.
probably the 19th. I've got on here, Wednesday the 19th. I don't see films at the weekends anymore. People can't behave.
18th. It says here.
Oh, weird. Okay,
Got on the 18th. But I mean, I wouldn't worry about going to see films at the weekend, because I know the reason you don't like to do that is you don't like to be in cinemas full of kids. Kids are not going to go and see this movie.
True. Yeah, it might be safe.
Most people that are going to go and see this movie are people that watch YouTube streams like this, or white men over the age of 40 who are not going to be on their phone.
Yeah,
So
might behave and not take selfies all the time.
Yeah, we've also got screenings in Edinburgh, Hemel Hempstead, Milton Keynes, Sheffield, Stevenage, Basildon, Ashton-under-Lyne, Aberdeen, Manchester. There you go, Nottingham. More screenings, 3 more in Nottingham.
Oh, there's the one, the 19th. So there must be 2 different cinemas, because we've got the View and then we've got the Savoy. Yeah.
Plymouth, so your sport of choice: Plymouth, Hull, Portsmouth, Reading, Romford, Staines, Swansea, Swindon, Watford, York. And then here's the London ones. And I'm going to the 1750 at the Islington Angel on the 16th. I've even bought 2 tickets, optimistic, because I don't have someone to take it. And I'm probably going to go back to North Finchley on the 19th and see it again at 7 o'clock. So I'm probably going to go and see it 2 days in a row. That's how much I like it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I would really love it if a load of us had gone, and then we can talk about it next week, because it is a film that really pulls on the heartstrings. And even though the first half an hour is a bit ropey, and Aaron Charman may well be sitting in the cinema in the first 20 minutes going, "Damn you, Lance, why have I gone to see this nonsense?" Because there is some cringy stuff with the child actor who, you know, it's probably not the way I would have directed him, shall we say, if I'd been doing the movie myself. But there's a couple of bits, and the 70s disco scene has not aged well. But all of that early stuff is quite important to establish all of the characters, and the reason that's important is because you care about these people. So therefore, when they are in jeopardy later, and indeed some of them start to die, that has a massive emotional impact on the audience. So there you go.
It's called character development. Quite a lot of people have forgotten about it these days, unfortunately.
It's written by Reginald Rose, who wrote the screenplay for 12 Angry Men.
Oh, wow.
So,
really? That's a hell of a film.
It is. It is a really good screenplay.
Cool.
There are some bits in it, as I say, that are so-so, but overall, and people have been talking about remaking it for a long time. And Guy Ritchie has had the rights for quite a while. I don't know that he will necessarily do it. I personally, I think we had this conversation last week.
We did, yeah. After seeing Extraordinary,
I personally would rather see, as much as I love Guy Ritchie, I would personally rather
100%.
see a different director.
Yeah.
Redo
What was the
film.
film he did? Oh, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I think he's good at doing hyper realized action, as in fun comic book action, silly action. But Guy Ritchie doing grounded, serious, oh my God, this is really happening action. That's not what I see.
Who would you pick?
Hmm?
Who would you pick out of contemporary directors to do
Well,
a
put myself
remake?
if I could, but putting that to one side, probably somebody like Michael Winterbottom.
Okay. Is he still
Who's a
is he
British
still
director
directing?
who's done a lot of serious drama, but has also got some action bits in some of his films, and they're perfectly fine. So yeah, somebody like Michael Winterbottom, I think. He's good at doing narratives with multiple characters as well. He has done some films I haven't liked, but he's had more hits than misses for me.
Yeah,
So,
I thought he'd retired actually, but yeah.
No, he's still going.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, he's still going.
Cool.
He's not that old, because I sat next to him in a theatre in the early 2000s, and he must have been in his 40s then. So I mean, he can't be much more than in his 60s, I would have thought.
Let's have a look. He is 64. So yeah.
Okay, moving on. Stumptown. Toxic, talk to us.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about this on my show this week. Stumbled upon this again, like a YouTube reel or a TikTok clip. Stumptown, based on a graphic novel of the same name, is the story of Dex. She's a former Marine Corps, hoorah, happy birthday, Marines, Marine Corps intelligence officer. I was shocked that there is such a thing, who becomes a private investigator up in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in Oregon. This show stars, oh geez, now I forgot her name right off the top of my head. That's not a good way to start.
Kobe Smulders.
Kobe Smulders,
Yeah.
thank you. So weird that I have a bad problem with names. Anyway, Kobe Smulders, who a lot of people recognize from How I Met Your Mother or some of her roles in the MCU films. She plays the titular character of Dex in Stumptown. She's best friends with a bartender who's an ex-felon and a cop who's a detective, has a romantic relationship with both, and among a lot of other shenanigans. And she's strangely good at her job, considering she has a lot of issues. She has severe PTSD. She was married to another Marine who she grew up with as her childhood friend, who is Indigenous. And there's a big subplot with the Indigenous casino that's in the same town and her ties to that. And then the big mystery behind his death, which is what got her ejected from the Marine Corps. And then she's kind of living off her disability money, but supplementing it with PI work. When I first heard of it, when it first popped up in 2020, I was enraged because its sort of premise is very similar to my book. And I was like, oh no, someone beat me to the punch. But the way that it's put out there is extremely different. So I don't have a problem with that. She has a younger brother who's mentally disabled, and he's really good. She has to take care of him, and she can barely take care of herself. Some of the more realistic, showing of what PTSD does, and some of the things that the self-destructive behavior she has. But she's weird. She has a weird, ability with PI work and doing these kind of things. So it's pretty good. It fell victim, of course, to the pandemic. It's an ABC TV series that just couldn't get renewed because everything went into lockdown, and they stopped stuff, and they just wound up not picking it up again, which I think is a real crime. I think it would have been great to have been picked up and repurposed and put on Netflix, but as we are about 6 years from its inception, or its release rather, I don't think that that's going to happen. I'm very skeptical that it could, but I mean, who knows? It's possible, but I think it's one of those one and done series. Every episode is a banger, and they're all very, very interesting. You do care a lot about these characters. Jake Johnson is really good in it, playing her bartender felon friend. He's basically just playing the same character Jake Johnson always plays, but he gets to do a lot more with it. And like I said, I usually don't like the cliche of having like a handicapped, side character that the protagonist has to take care of, but he's actually very endearing, and a lot of the stuff is pretty realistic, or at least in my opinion. I don't have a handicapped younger brother, so I couldn't say for sure, although I do tell him that he's kind of mentally challenged sometimes, but not in the like diagnosed way or whatever. But yeah, I find it to be a really good show. I think you can find it on Amazon. I wound up buying it on iTunes actually, and then now I've got it on my Plex Pass, but that's how much I liked it right off the bat. It's pretty quirky and funny, but it's also very, very serious. And it doesn't boss babe it up. She screws up a lot. Like, she makes a lot of mistakes. I always like that in shows, especially when it's a detective type show. It doesn't go heavy into noir. It's kind of reminiscent of the short-lived TV series called Life that they had on NBC back in 07 and 08, also falling victim to a similar thing with the writer's strike. It's kind of like that, and they tell some of the stories out of sequence in order to build up the suspense. I really like that. So I think it's a kind of underrated gem that fell through the cracks. If you can find it and you can watch it, I think you'd really enjoy it. It kind of hooks you right off the rip. And Kobe Smolder's a good actress, which I didn't know. I didn't know up to this point. Anything I'd seen her in, I wasn't really blown away by her stuff. I don't dislike her in the Marvel stuff, but she really is getting a fire on all cylinders in this show. And I've not seen anything else that would indicate that. I don't dislike How I Met Your Mother, but I just thought her character was a little cringy, and it didn't really do anything for me. I don't know much else of her CV. Maybe she's done some other stuff where she gets to show off her chops, but I can tell you she shows them off in this very well, and she's very believable. So that would be one of my 2 recommendations for this week.
I chops, you don't mean boob, no?
Imagine if her parents had named her Embers.
That would have been good.
What was your question, Al? I missed
I said, when you said she shows off her chops, do you actually mean boobs?
I don't mean chops. Yeah.
Save that behavior for other channels.
Yeah, you could. That's more
too lowbrow.
Yeah, that's a more Toxic Thursday question than a.
Yeah.
I'll save it for that
morning. Toxic, is this a one and done show? One season?
Unfortunately, yes. As I indicated at the outset, it did.
But is it concluded? Is it a nice one season?
Good question. I guess that would be open to one's interpretation. It's hard for me to answer that without spoiling it. I'm taking your meaning was it left on a cliffhanger that'll never ever be resolved, and you get a case of TV blue balls by watching it?
Yeah, well, that's
I don't.
Good way.
I don't think so. I personally did not feel that way, but I mean, it definitely set it up for another season. So in that manner, if that's it's definitely something that if you tricked Enzo into watching it, he'd be mad at you and wouldn't talk to you for a week because he hates when shows.
Yeah.
So that's the trick.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a pet hate of mine as well. When you get into something and then you're like, oh, there's no more. Thanks.
Enzo's very protective of his TV show, bandwidth. Like, if you recommend something and it's involved and it gets canceled, and especially if it gets canceled and left on a cliffhanger, he gets big mad about that. Like, he's very protective of that with himself, which I gotta respect. I respect that. So he like, oh man, Breaking Bad's so great. It's like, I'm gonna wait until the entire thing is out before I.
It's kind of what I'm like as well. Definitely.
Okay, what would you rate this out of 10?
I give this a good solid 9 out of 10. It's really good. And it's got great dialogue. Donal Logue makes multiple appearances in it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, as a.
You interviewed
him. Yeah, didn't you interview him once? I think.
I'm due to interview him, but he's also a friend of mine.
Oh, great. I kind of felt like he was in another PI show that only got a one and done season called Terriers. on
Yeah,
FX.
Terriers. I've talked to him about Terriers.
Yeah, I felt like this
That
was
was a
they
good
were
one.
trying to give him a little bit of a, hey. But yeah, no, it's really good. Jake Johnson really gets to shine in this. And then again, I know Jake Johnson pretty much plays the same character in everything that he does, but I mean, there's a reason why it's good. And in this one, he does get to have a little bit more depth. I think it was interesting making him the felon, but he's, even though he's the felon, he's actually the stable influence in everybody's life, with the bar that everybody kind of comes in and out of and hangs out. And then this guy, I don't know his name, the Hispanic chunky guy, he is very good. He's kind of the comic relief of the show, but he's also very endearing, and he gets a lot of chances to do stuff. That's the kid that plays the younger brother, who's I guess the proper term is he's mentally challenged, but I mean, he's also a smart kid, and he's a really good actor. I guess the actor in real life also is, because I mean, kind of have to be, can't really fake that. But he does very, very well. And they all kind of the whole cast is like, it takes a village. So like, between the detectives, the chunky chef there, the bartender, Daxter, they all kind of like chip in to like help her with her life and her kiddo or the little brother. And it's pretty cool. I like it. I would have liked to see more of it.
He still was almost like an animatic of the whole show,
Yeah.
I played them fast. These characters would like animate, flap their arms about.
Yeah. No, it's worth your time if you want to watch it. It is a little disappointing because it's only the one and done, so that kind of sucks. But I think it's worth it. I feel like it is. I don't think you'd be mad at me for watching it. I mean, you'd probably.
I'm going to try and check it out.
Yeah.
A 9 out of 10 recommendation.
Definitely a 9, a solid
good.
9 out of 10. Michael Irby right here, he's great. He's always good. He's always value added and solid.
Yeah, I've seen him in quite a few things. Patricia De Leon, who I know from being in this, looks amazing. Yeah.
Yep. That's Stumptown.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, this lady looks pretty scary.
She's kind of so she is the mother of her dead husband, who's also Marine. She didn't like, she's a little racist towards white people.
Hang on. She's the mother of her dead husband.
Of Kobe Smolder's, Dax's dead husband. She's the mother.
Okay, that's not what you said.
So she's her mother-in-law. That would have been a lot easier.
That's how we normally say
You're
that.
right. You're right.
Dead husband. That would have meant she would have married her son.
Correct. Well, I mean, I don't know why your first thought is incest, but okay.
That's what you
Well,
said.
he is British, so
Facts. So no, she's sort of adversarial, but also I think it's like she does get to have a bit of growth in the fact that she realized, because originally it's like, oh, this little white girl took my boy away and made him join the, remember how I told you there's the Marine Corps buddy program? That's pretty much what happened. They grew up as friends. She was a bit of a tomboy, fell in love, and then joined the Marines together. And then they go to Afghanistan, and some pretty interesting stuff, because intelligence officers tend to drift towards the correctional facilities overseas. And that's pretty accurate. So I thought that was good. And she has a lot of conflicts about some of the things that she's seen there, and also some of the things that she did there in the name of the flag and the Marine Corps and all that stuff. And I like it. It's done very well with that. Not just, oh, I saw some bad shit, man. It was rough over there, man. But it's legitimate. And then the stuff when it comes back to haunt her, it's, I've heard it said, PTSD is like having pop-up ads of a horror movie that pop up in your brain of things that actually happened. So, and they do that very well.
Okay, well, before we move on to something that I want to get the whole panel's opinion on, I'm going to quickly talk about a mini-series and a film, neither of which I can recommend, one of which I will say you might be interested in which case check it out because of the period of history. But it's not a great film, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. And the second one is oh my God, are we still making this kind of crap? Avoid at all costs nonsense. So let's deal with these in turn. So the latter of the two is a 6-part, and I didn't watch the whole thing, drama series, typical kind of Sunday night shite, the sort of thing that commissioners would go, yeah, what do people want to watch on a Sunday? A murder mystery, blah, blah, blah. So it's basically about a couple who are about to move out of their street, played by Rupert Penry-Jones and Jill Halfpenny. By the way, there's no criticism of the actors in this show. They're all doing a sterling job with the material that they've been given. And they're going to move out. We're introduced to all the various other characters at this kind of street party, just before which the wife says, well, actually, I don't want to move out. I want to stay. And all of this preamble is done with a flashback scene. Well, it's more of a present day scene, and then we flash back where they go to the house, and this estate agent is showing this guy round the house. And this is when I immediately knew this was shite writing, because they're showing him around the house, and the house is kind of a mess, and there's blood along one wall, and it's like a scene of crime. And first of all, no estate agent in England ever in any fantasy fictional world would ever show a house with a blood stain on the wall to try and sell the house in order to facilitate a quick sale. They would go in with a bucket and of water and sponge, and they'd wash it off themselves before they personally showed somebody round. Secondly, the scene of crime would never be left like that after the event. You know, it's just not the way houses are sold. So you're already in this very fictional nonsense land, and then we flash back to, ooh, I wonder what happened here. And you're introduced to these 6 characters that live on this street, and they're all fucking horrible. You don't like them. They're all grumpy and irritable, and they moan about shit, and they complain about stuff that's nonsensical. And the writing is utterly frivolous. It's awful, terrible, middle-class, wanky, somebody sitting in a room on a computer feeling self-important going, this script's so great. It's not. It's absolutely fucking terrible, diabolical rubbish. And I got 2 episodes in, and I thought, I'm not watching any more of this. This is a 1 out of 10. I highly do not recommend. Has anyone else seen it?
No,
Right.
I'm not going to now.
Let's move on. The Partisan. Now, this clearly had good intentions, this next one. Feature film just released by High Flyers. It was actually first released in 2014. I'd seen the trailer before. There's some good production value here. It's a World War II true story, semi-true, about a Polish woman who was a partisan that worked for SOE. She ended up fighting in Poland with the resistance fighters there. Later, she dropped into the Vaucluse, which is a plateau region just north of Lyon in France. And I don't know if people are familiar with the history, but what happened was there was an uprising in the Vaucluse that coincided with the D-Day landings. And the French were under the impression that the Allies were going to drop them a load of weapons, maybe even some troops. So they all rose up and took over the top of this plateau and the little towns that were there. And then the Germans parachuted in a load of Eastern European troops, Cossacks and things like that, and basically massacred loads of French. Most of the resistance were executed, civilians and so on. Now, there's a really worthy film to be made about the Battle of the Vaucluse. This is not it. This is a sort of very loosely historical movie, probably one of the last performances of Malcolm McDowell, and about this Polish woman. But it's just a really weird film. It doesn't have like a properly structured narrative. It's all over the place. and you're just not given enough to invest in this hero. There's some scenes about briefings, and she goes here and she goes there, but you don't really ever feel like you know her. Good performance from the lead, but I just feel this has got a really weak script, but it looks good. It's got some great shots in it. It looks of the period, all the costume stuff and all that stuff is great. So if you're a bit of a World War II guy, and you haven't seen it, it's a sort of soft recommend, but I can't give it more than 5 out of 10. But it's okay, you know.
I would just like to reassure everybody that Malcolm McDowell is not dead. Because what?
No.
Well,
Malcolm McDowell, I was like, oh shit, he died.
Yeah. No, I didn't say he was dead. I said it's one of his last films.
You gotta phrase that correctly.
The angel of death strikes again on the Outcast Creative.
That's right.
Next week, discussing our favorite Malcolm McDowell films.
I actually did thought he'd passed away recently, but now I'm thinking about it. I think that was Terrence Stamp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mixed up. Sorry.
We talked about it and everything.
The Outcast Creative would like to put out a public service announcement.
Few days. You'll have to forgive me. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully not the last film that Malcolm McDowell's going to make.
Yeah, hopefully. Not now that you just talked it into existence, Death Angel.
I know, right? Oh shit! If anything happens to him in the next week, you guys are never going to forgive me.
I'm not going to forgive you now for most of the times that you've done it. How many times has Lance popped on here? Yeah, it's a young actress. Unfortunately, she's passed away. Very sad. If he brings up some obscure actor or actress, something, and Lance knows about it right away. Like, oh yeah, unfortunately, she's passed away. It's very sad.
Well, it's usually someone's career that I followed, and unfortunately, they're no longer with us, which is why I know, because I followed their career. So, you know, but I feel they should still get recognition. Anyway, Malcolm McDowell can still get recognition because he's still here. Right. I'd like to know what people think of this. So let's watch this and then we'll talk about it.
The world is full of ugly people doing ugly things, kid. It's just the nature of the beast.
I found something.
Okay, we got you.
What happened?
You got shot through the back. You think you can tell me what happened?
They took us. My best friend. They shot her. Lindsey! I left it there. I just started running.
Somebody shot her. Left for dead? What do you figure they'll do if they find out she's alive?
The girl, she got seen today.
Take care of it. This brotherhood, who are they?
These people, god dang animals. I'm looking for somebody.
No! Get back in the house, tool up, lock all the doors.
Yes, sir.
You understand what kind of mess this girl is in? You don't want to mess with these people.
Wasn't planning on it. Sometimes we don't get to pick what we want to do.
You can't get away from me.
The only thing I care about in this whole wide world is keeping you safe. Nothing's gonna stop me from doing that. Damn thing won't start.
Oh, I see the problem. It's a spark plug.
I have to say, I like the look of that scene.
When's that
It does look good. It looks good.
I mean, that looks like a good fit. Like, if we all lived in the same town, that would definitely be a movie I'd say, let's all go and see that on a Friday. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's doing anything that hasn't been done before, but it looks like fun. When is it out? Is it like this year, next year?
That's a good question.
What's it called? Hunting Season?
Yeah, it's called Hunting Season. I mean, it's, as you say, it's kind of Rambo meets Deadly Pursuit.
Yeah, December 5th.
Right. I'd like to see that. I'd like to
Looks
see
like it
that.
could be fun.
That's a film I'd go to the cinema to watch for sure.
Did he direct it as well? Do you know? Or no. Directed by Roger Collins. Who's Roger Collins?
Yeah, not sure. Let's have a quick look.
No, it's Roger Collins, but I've not heard of him.
R.J. Collins.
Oh, RJ. It says Roger.
Not
here.
Roger.
That's probably, you know what that probably is? That's probably like
he was a child actor.
Captions AI type thing, yeah.
He was a child actor. He's directed 4 movies.
Okay. Nothing particularly high
Crescent
rated.
City, Don't Suck, and American Sicario. I have seen American Sicario. It was okay. It was like a TV Sicario movie. Maybe this
I've seen that
one.
Rafa Becky advertised on Amazon, so that's a thing. Who's just a producer on that, but yeah. Okay.
Well, everyone's
could be
got
good.
to
I
have
mean,
fun.
yeah.
Maybe this will be the one that starts his career properly. Who knows?
Looks like fun. And Mel Gibson's pretty watchable most of the time anyway. Like so.
Have you seen the Fackham Hall trailer?
Oh, that
yes,
is
I have.
funny.
Naked Gun meets Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, yeah.
I have seen it.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. I have to see that.
Oh, the bit where, I mean, I've not laughed, like barely laughed for a long time, but the bit where she tears the pamphlet and the name changes to Cock Eater, I was just like, oh no, that's too funny.
There's some good laughs. There's some good laughs in the trailer. I just hope not all the laughs are in the trailer.
No, hopefully. I'm hoping also. I don't want things to be edgy for the sake of it, but I do want them to be daring. I hope it's a bit more daring than the Naked Gun was. Played it a little bit safe. So yeah. Don't be worried about offending people. Comedy should have a free pass for the most part.
No. I couldn't agree more. Talking of comedy that should never worry about offending people, that should include anything that's directed by or written by Christopher Guest, who is possibly one of the most talented men on the planet. Now, let's forget about Spinal Tap 2. That's not really worth mentioning. But one of my recent older watches, in fact, just yesterday, was one of his earlier films, which was Waiting for Guffman. Now, before I mention this, has anyone else on the panel seen it?
Never heard of it.
No, I haven't.
I've heard of it, but just never got to see it.
So this is the film that was done before. It was done after Spinal Tap. It was done before Best in Show, right before Best in Show.
Okay.
In the 90s, and it was really the next sort of big release that they had. That team with Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean. Michael McKean doesn't play an acting role in this though. Was Waiting for Guffman. It's basically about this fictional town of Blaine. They're known for making stools, as in the type you sit on, not the types that come out of cows' backsides. And it's sort of it's a mockumentary, so it's a fly on the wall, follow several characters in the town, and the characters are all what connects them is that they're all connected to doing a show about the town of Blaine. They're not professional actors or anything, but it's been decided by the committee that run the town that in honor of Blaine's anniversary, they're going to do this musical show about the history of Blaine. And this guy called Corky, who's the local theatre director for schools and colleges, he's the guy on the poster, and that's also Christopher Guest, is going to direct it. And he says he's straight, but he's certainly the campest straight man I've ever seen. Now, at one point, some of the characters go for dinner, and and have some Chinese together. And I feel this is a scene I really want to share with you, because one of the characters, it's two couples that are both working on the show, but one couple fancies themselves as a sort of amateur dramatics theatrical types, whilst Eugene Levy, who many of you will know, and his wife, they're basically he's a doctor. He's never done any acting before in his life. So they agreed to go for dinner with the other couple from the company. Have a quick watch of this.
Coming here for many, many years.
It's
leave it there.
It's so funny. If you haven't seen Waiting for Guffman, it's just one of those things where you watch these guys, because they're improvising, because they have a very loose script.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
just brilliant at it, and it's always such fun to watch these guys do that. And I haven't seen Waiting for Guffman in a long time. I remember when I first watched it, again, I was a lot younger. I thought, yeah, this is kind of good. It's not as good as some of their others. But actually, when I watched it today and I saw that clip's going to be on my movie quiz this year. And he ends up talking about his penis reduction surgery that he had to have. And in the end, he insists on showing it to the doctor at the table. So, yeah, fun times. But if you haven't seen Waiting for Guffman, you absolutely should. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 prior to reduction. Yeah, Toxic, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, bud, you're missing out. Gotta check it out. It's a lot of fun. And of course, you got the late great actor there who was in Modern Family. He played various roles with these same guys on different films. The guy on the left here, I forget his name now.
Fred Willard.
Thank you so much, Fred Willard.
Oh, has he passed away?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away a good while ago. Him.
No,
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're talking about him.
But this is one of his one of his best parts that most people haven't seen. So yeah, and then of course I'm a massive fan of Catherine as well.
Yeah, that looks funny.
This is them when they're auditioning to be in the play. And they turn up in these wonderful outfits, which Northern will tell you this is standard attire from where he comes from.
Yeah, that's formal wear. You got to show up for interviews for a job and that kind of stuff. Otherwise you don't get it.
That picture just screams 90s, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah,
the ASICS trainers and everything.
Yeah.
Welfare stick. I love these outfits because they clearly pick them to be as horrific as possible. But yeah, Waiting for Guffman, definitely worth your time. It's fun.
Well, lads, I'm gonna jump out right now, Logue, but thanks for having me.
Northern, did you want to plug anything before you left?
Yeah, I got my 007 series still ongoing, and what else? I think Admiral Teague wants to have me on the show on Friday, so I'll do that. And plus, Toxic's Thursday on Thursday, and I think Losers Lounge on Wednesday. No idea what film we're going to be watching there, but we'll see. So yeah, thanks for having me on, Lance, and I will see you at Toxic.
Yep.
Rebel Rose on Thursday probably as well.
Maybe I'll see you tomorrow, dude.
Yeah. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, you too, man.
Right.
Was it you, Tox, that wanted to talk about this? Is this The Goods?
Yes, The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard. Just popped up on Netflix. Freaking great. Or not Netflix, on my Plex Pass. 2009, very overlooked of the kind of comedies that were coming around in the early or late aughts, 2007, 2008. The Superbads, the Tropic Thunders, the Pineapple Express, all of the, all those movies, Step Brothers and stuff. This is one that kind of flew under the radar. And Jeremy Piven is the main character. He plays Don the Goods Ready. He's going to go save a failing used car dealership out in Temecula with his crew. And they basically, that's like their whole thing as they come out and they sell cars. They sell the metal. We get Will Ferrell has a really brief but pivotal appearance cameo in it. And I won't spoil it because it's just hilarious. He did a lot of
because I've never even heard of this movie.
Yeah, no, a lot of people haven't. It's very surprising, and it's got Catherine Hahn there. I know she's getting a lot of flack because people are, the blowback on it was Agatha all along, but boy, she is so funny in it. She's really great. A lot of the same characters that you'll see pop up, and then Will Ferrell, late aughts movies. Almost everybody that you'll see here, you'll have seen in any and all of the ones that I just mentioned, Talladega Nights, and all of that stuff. All that stuff. They're showrunners in all of those, and they pop up. And boy, it's just one of those. You know exactly what you're gonna get, but it's got so many funny moments. And it just popped up again, and I said, man, I got to give this a rewatch. Oh, good. Oh, look, Alan Thicke was in it, and he's died. So that'd be a good mention. Yeah, he's sadly passed away.
He's not a career that I followed at any time in my life, which is why I won't.
But he is a celebrity. He is in something I've seen recently, and he is dead. So he counts. He counts. Yeah, definitely counts.
For you, people I mention are people I've usually followed their career my whole life, and then
I didn't know the Angel of Death was so selective, but fair enough.
That's why I talk about it, honestly.
Yeah, but this is a pretty tight movie. It's some of the raunchy comedy family, but not too raunchy, really. I mean, it's some of the stuff. I mean, it's very lowbrow humor, a lot of it, but it's done very well, and it is a reminder of how good Jeremy Piven is in these over the top kind of comedic roles that he's known for. And I'd not seen him in a lot of stuff, and the stuff I have seen him in, he's usually not the showrunner. He's great in this. The dialogue is very, very quotable, and you'll have a lot of fun. It's on par with Step Brothers and Superbad and all the other ones that I named, Talladega Nights. It's on par with all of them, but just did not get promoted well and kind of flew under the radar. I didn't catch it until it was on cable and then later streaming.
It didn't get released in the UK. I can tell you that now.
I believe you. I believe that. So, but yeah, if you like all those movies, Hangover, Step Brothers, Tropic Thunder, Pineapple Express, Superbad, Talladega Nights, all of that stuff, if you like those kind of things, you'll really, really love this. Everybody, and Ving Rhames is very, very funny guy when he wants to be funny.
Oh, bloody hell, he's dead too.
No, he's still alive.
Don't do that.
Isn't he?
No.
Who am I thinking of? Oh no, I'm thinking of Mark Clark Duncan.
Yeah,
yeah.
What in the hell?
What are they? That's both evil and racist at the same time.
It's not like I just killed him or anything. He's still alive. I've just checked. He's all right. He did die in the new Mission Impossible film, so maybe I was thinking of that.
Well, guess I don't have to watch that now, do I?
Okay.
Right. No, I was just thinking rather than Dead Poet Society, we were the Dead Actor Society. That's all.
You got a rating out of 10 for this movie.
10 out of 10. It's the best of anything I mentioned, easily.
Okay. 10 out of 10 was that?
Yep. It is hilarious.
Sounded like you said that with a mouthful of pizza. But
it really
candy. Leftover Halloween candy, sorry. But yeah, it's rewatchability is off the charts.
Rachel, you're the only person who hasn't had a go today. We did pack quite a lot in. Was there anything you wanted to plug at all or mention that you've seen?
Yeah, help us pack it in. Help us pack a lot more.
Yeah, I'll pick a series that's less fun, but I'm loving it. So there's that. AMC is doing their Vampire Anne Rice universe, and 2 of them have sucked, but the third one I'm really enjoying. Called Talamasca: The Secret Order, and I really love this one. I've watched what is out. I've watched all of it 3 times over, and I think it's exceptional.
They've redone. I haven't watched it, but they've redone Interview with the Vampire, right?
Yeah,
they have, and they've changed
unfortunately
as much as they can change, to the point that it's barely the same story. So
everybody's gay. Everybody's a person of color.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were kind of. They were kind of gay in the book to begin with, but they modernized it. He's he's from the 20s instead of the 1700s, and he's a African American instead of a white guy. And
well, let's
more
talk
about
your
race.
choice.
Yeah, let's talk about the better one.
Yes, let's talk about this one, Talamasca, the Secret Order. I mean, without giving us spoilers, and I love William Fichtner, so I'm already interested.
This is why I watched it.
Give us the basic overview.
All right. Talamasca is a secret organization whose job it is to make sure that vampires and witches don't get too powerful, and they keep to the shadows and they stay out of everybody's business. But Talamasca somehow finds a way every single time, even in the books, of making the situation worse. They always get involved when they're not supposed to. And that is without giving anything away. Now,
so the Talamasca are a group of people, not one person.
Yeah, they are a secret order of people who are actually in on what's going on. Typically, they have a psychic ability to allow them to spy on the different factions that they're trying to control. But having psychic abilities, it makes them very susceptible to messed with themselves. And William Fichtner's character, Jasper, is exceptionally good at this. And as the series goes on, he is the best character in it. The main character is fine. He's serviceable. William Fichtner's character is the reason to watch it, which is no surprise to anyone.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's worth the $9.99 a month for AMC Plus so far. And for me to say it, that it's worth spending money on, it must be good.
And how many episodes have you seen?
I've seen 4 out of 8. I'm waiting for the 5th lot on Sunday. And like one of the best things about it is the makeup. If you like special effects makeup, this is a good series for you. My only problem with it is the contact lenses they put on William Fichtner. Those are the only ones that don't look good.
Oh, okay.
He already has blue eyes, and they put blue contacts over blue eyes, and it just looks weird. So, but other than that, it's been great.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. All right, and can someone comfortably watch this as a standalone without knowing anything else about the Anne Rice universe?
Yes. This one is not connected to the other two, except that the Talamasca are mentioned or are in the other two, but they have no narrative lines that cross over. It's just the organization is there. You don't miss anything, and you're probably better off just to ignore that the other two exist. Honestly, just watch this one. It's fun.
All right. So I had a couple of interviews I had to postpone because of circumstances beyond my control. Both of those interviews are happening this week. One of them was pushed till tomorrow. So I've got an interview with writer Hugh Ross coming in tomorrow. And he's written a kind of, it's a high fantasy series. There's all kinds of information about it on the stream. But you can be sure that it involves people with swords and giant crab creatures. What else do you need? So he's coming in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. It was originally supposed to be today, but I couldn't make it back in time due to unforeseen circumstances. So we've moved it. And then on Sunday at 10 p.m. UK time, I have a young filmmaker coming on who's just done her first horror short. You can actually watch the horror short film on her YouTube channel, and she goes by the name of King Nikki. Now, one of my first questions to her, I have to say, is going to be, is that your real name? Or, didn't, like most creators, did you pick your own? And because I've never met a female with the first name of King. So I'm curious to know. But she's just done this short horror film called Apples. You can watch it on her YouTube channel, which is also the same name as herself. Go and check it out. I'll be keen for my panelists to do that. Rebel Rose, if you're up for co-hosting that one on Sunday, that'd be helpful for me.
Sure, I can be there. No problem.
Excellent. And also appreciate you guys posting in the chat when she was frantically asking what's going on.
It's okay.
Yeah, and I didn't even have any means of contacting her to tell her I was going to be delayed. Those 2 interviews are both coming up this week. I might be doing a third one, but that one's not confirmed yet. But it could actually be sometime in the middle of this week. But I'm just waiting for confirmation, so we'll see. But we don't have a lot of days left, so if there is a third one, it will probably be on the 13th or the 14th, Thursday or Friday, possibly Friday. But we shall see. Okay, all right then. That's it from us. We've gone over by half an hour today. we did pack in quite a lot. Tox, you want to plug anything real quick?
Just Toxic Thursday, noon to 3 before open bar. We'll be doing our usual topics and panel show with the usual suspects on there. Maybe Lance could even drag himself away from whatever he's doing and pop in. It's always a good time. And we should have some good Toxic on tap fun. Hopefully Rebel Rose and Critic Al can join me.
I'll be there.
I'll try and pop on, but I'll tell you now, I'm not a big fan of doing large panels. So I prefer like 4 people or less if I'm going on someone else's.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair enough. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, it's basically just a free for all. Everyone that can jump in. We play some trivia. We have some fun. Yeah. And
I did like the trivia. That was a lot of fun, man.
We're making that a permanent thing, although I'm trying to switch it up each week. Unfortunately, Inside Man has figured out the key to winning the trivia game.
I should have kept him on my team last time.
Yeah, what were you thinking? He was hustling you for sure there, I tell you.
Yeah.
What's that? Google and IMDb?
No. He so the game that we've done a couple different trivia. I'll be very brief because I know we're over time. We've done a couple different trivia games, but what we fall back on is usually that actor, film actor type thing. And the way to win is to paint your opponents into a corner, as I'm sure you know. And Inside Man figured out how to do it by trapping us all with 1970s obscure foreign Italian films. And
yep.
I was like, okay, well, we're going to have to figure out another trivia game. And I have. So hopefully I've outsmarted him this week. We'll find out. But he mopped the floor with us last week. So.
Yeah, I just to follow up on that comment in the chat, I was going to talk about, and I don't even know how to pronounce this show.
It's the Heroes.
Yeah,
I've been watching it.
I was going to talk about it. It's good. I have seen it. I've seen the whole thing, but you know what? It's a show that deserves at least 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, next week. Sure.
Let's push it to next week.
Yeah. I'll have finished it by then. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think Luke has seen most of it. He hasn't seen all of it, but he's seen.
Cool. It's definitely worth a watch, and it's also dubbed, not just dubbed, so you haven't got to watch it in Polish.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it in Polish with subtitles. I found an original with English subs, so I prefer always watching it in the original language. But if you do want to watch it, a dubbed version is available, and it's on
Netflix.
And it's funny because it's a new Netflix release, and it's not being pushed at all.
No, I really struggled to find it. It wasn't in.
It wasn't the fact that I'd mentioned it, and it's also got weird spelling. Let me just show it on IMDb quickly.
I wonder if I managed to spell it right.
No, I think you did. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so if you haven't seen this show and you do have a Netflix account, because I don't want to say all the high seas for this one, because that'd be a joke in perfectly poor taste. But
Yes.
it's just a really good
Mm.
part. It's not as factual as Estonia. This takes a lot more liberties.
Yeah, but it lets you know that at the start of the episode, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, but it is good.
Mm.
And
I've done some looking into the actual disaster, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes to find out what.
Yeah, I've done that as well, and I like the way they presented some of the possible kind of things that might have happened, but they don't give you those answers. They just let you know that, like there were explosives, military explosives were on board, stuff like that. Some of the bodies that were recovered were decapitated.
Yeah, and the propellers had covers on them, so that shouldn't have happened, and things like that. Yeah.
So how did they get decapitated? Yeah, interesting stuff, and it's good. It's good, and it's a shame Netflix are not pushing it more. They should be. It's they co-produced it. It's not just a show they bought. They hands-on co-produced it. They should be very proud of it. It's a good piece of work. So check it out. We'll talk about it next week. So Rachel, you've got until then to watch the whole thing. Cox as well. Fantastic.
There's not a lot of it. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it's a relatively short series. It's not a big.
They're about an hour long each, so
not a big commitment, and it's also good. So
it is good. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Even Al, the man who murdered the Predator, is. All right. Okay. Well, look, that's it from us. Thanks very much. Also, I appreciate the people that made some donations to Rachel's GoFundMe the other week. I know some people did. That was very kind. And,
I don't know if you saw the private chat, Lance, but I do need to speak to you about that after the stream, please.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, I'll hang on then. All right, okay. On that note then, guys, we're going to head off. Thanks very much, and we'll speak to you all again real soon. Bye.